2, 1.
Welcome back to a podcast, Orange, everybody. It is great to be here again. I am your host, Tom Crescenzo, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Hunter Biden. It's good to see you here, Hunter Biden.
It's great to be here. I've been doing a lot of cocaine, and now I'm here.
Slow down. You've been here for 8 minutes. You're already chopping up a line. I'm going to need you to relax. Hunter,
My dad's the president-elect. You shut your fucking mouth.
Oh, okay. All right. Can we introduce our guests, Hunter?
All right, our guest right here. Her name is Daniel. What the fuck is it again? Dana McAllister.
That's me.
Dana McAllister.
McAllister.
Frankie
Muniz.
Inertia.
Ladies and gentlemen, our good friend Dana McAllister is here
Frankie,
today.
what's your last name?
My last name is Sinergio.
Sinergia.
Don't even try to say it.
And her friend Frankie,
Frankie works.
Spinosaurus. Frankie
Spinosaurus.
Spinosaurus.
Spineless.
Frankie
Spineless.
Spineless.
Yeah, Frankie's spineless.
Frankie something. All right, so yeah, we're here with Dana, comedian, great friend of ours, and her friend Frankie. How are you guys doing? We're in your apartment.
Yeah.
This is dope.
Thanks for coming to the nursing home to visit.
Thanks for having us.
I actually did. I have Fig Newtons, and I was gonna put them out just for effect because
Just
my
for
grandma,
effect.
my grandma always had
decoration
intentions on
only.
Yeah,
the
for
table.
decoration on an audio podcast.
Somebody, that's
You know
like
how
the most-
refreshing it is to not have to like dress up for people to not watch me on YouTube.
I dress up.
I mean, I don't dress up
Yeah.
even when people are watching.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
I've worn this exact shirt on stage, and for those of you watching at home, this shirt has a guy getting stabbed in the mouth.
This is
on
what Tom wears to like
Looks
when he's
like
trying to
somebody
impress a
pissed in the
date. You know,
snow.
this is fucking.
it.
This is what he wears to a job interview.
It's just like some girls like waiting outside, like I wonder which guy it is, and I'm just like, hey.
She's like, all right,
The cough was
maybe.
pertinent.
Yeah.
It needs time.
She's like, maybe he's fun, I guess. You know.
You're right, like maybe he has like a sense of humor. I don't know. Maybe it's all just an exterior.
Sometimes I
Weed
wonder-
isn't a personality, Tom.
Weed is not a personality.
Sometimes I wonder.
Crack though,
Yeah.
kind of a personality. Crack is a personality. Like
Being
there's
a crackhead.
yeah, because you could see somebody. It's like, what could you describe them? It's like crack. That's all I
Limited
can
amount
say
of-
about them. It's just crack. All you need to know is that
Crack
word,
as
and you
a
should
person.
understand everything about this person.
Guys make it
I've
really
met
hard
people
not
like
to-
that where you
Yes.
just feel high being around them and you don't even have to do drugs. You just get like a body high and you're like, this guy is vibe.
I
It's
am.
just making me.
Some
I'm a
people are
vibe.
like,
You're a vibe.
I'm a whole mood.
I don't even think you count as that though, because
Thank
I feel
you.
very sober right now.
I know, because I don't
yeah,
share my
you're the
drugs.
only one here
'cause
who hasn't smoked weed.
Cheers.
But,
I'm the
Right.
only one not drinking, so that's cool.
yeah, we're all not doing something. I'm the only one drinking,
You're the only one
smoking,
doing
and
both.
hitting nicotine. I'm doing all three.
You know, it's interesting to talk about like
I-
on a date. Sometimes I wish like. You ever watch that movie with Mel Gibson where he can hear women's thoughts?
Yes, what girls want.
What women want. I wonder, like, I would.
No, is that
I would
really
love
a
to see
thing?
that.
That's a thing.
Yeah, he's like he. ends up
He's like,
having-
what women want, and then it's in his mind. It's just like, kill the Jews, kill all the Jews. Yeah. He's like, is that it? Really?
Put it
What
on
Mel
cross.
Gibson wants.
She's like on a date. He's like on a date with a girl, and he like reads her mind, and she's like, I just wish the Third Reich would come back.
He's like, I found the one.
It was like that fucking Jack Black movie. The when he it was like he could see girls' thoughts or whatever.
Jack Black
like,
was in a movie like
Jack
that.
Black was in a movie. Shallow Hal Gets a Gal.
Yeah, but that was shallow. How he saw a women that were fat and he thought
Yeah.
of them as skinny because of no. He saw people's real personalities match their appearance.
Oh,
You
what
know
a
I mean?
tacky fucking topic
Shallow
for a
Hal.
movie.
You never saw
I
Shallow
see people's
Hal?
real personalities for
George
who they are.
Costanza's
Well,
in it.
Then
Shallow
he just
Hal-
looks at Jack and he just sees this hideous creature.
Just a demon.
It's like a demonic, amorphous blob with all kinds of protrusions. It's like, damn, that's really what he looks like.
You guys, you don't have to insult Dana like that.
No, I was believe me, I was talking about Jack.
No one would ever mistake me. for
Jack
that. They
Black-
don't have the balls.
The fucking plot of that movie was he's like a shallow douche and
And
he
he got
meets
it.
Tony Robbins and then he's like you're gonna see women for the real personalities. Then he sees Gwyneth Paltrow, but she's wearing a fat suit, and
And
he
it was
sees her, like-
terrific.
but he
It
sees
was
her as
great.
like Gwyneth Paltrow, like regular
Like
hot,
hot get Gwyneth Paltrow.
and because she's like really nice.
So,
It's funny
so like
what
the
that-
bench breaks and like it just looks like it was for no reason.
It's funny what that says about it's funny what that concept says about beauty standards though. Like it kind of is like I could see a feminist getting annoyed because it's kind of like it's like see like you might be fat but at least your personality is skinny.
And that's
It's
what
like-
Jack Black
Yeah.
taught us.
It's like that's
via-
even your personality
via
has to
public
be
shame.
thin to be good.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
what
that's
if you
true.
like you see a thin person and if they're a douchebag, their personality's just a fat, disgusting
Fat,
fuck. Like
Well, there
Well,
was a
I
hot
mean,
girl in that
to
movie,
some
and she was, like,
degree,
ugly.
everybody has to like you have to judge a person by their exterior in order to approach them.
No,
I mean,
well,
you know
I'm
what I
not-
mean?
believe
like,
me, I'm
like
not-
if there's
yeah.
a reason people look a certain way.
no, believe me, I'm not like saying I'm not
Mm.
all being like body positive or whatever right now. I'm saying more it's just funny that they made this movie.
I'm the
They
opposite
probably
of body
thought
positive.
they probably it's hard to
Body
even say
negative.
body positive with Dana in the room.
I won't stand
I'm
for this.
kidding.
people.
But
She's the only thing she's
It's more-
positive is HIV positive.
Oh. Ha, ha, ha.
Singer.
It's because she's gay. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
I am.
LGBTQ.
Yes.
plus.
But
I'm the plus.
what I was more is just because it's like it's sort of just this weird that they made a movie. They probably thought that was like a sweet idea. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, this
This
is
is gonna
sweet.
be
Like
cute.
he
It was-
sees your personality. Is it what it really is? But really, like. It's not like it's a mean thing, but it's still just kind of like it's not that sweet. You're still just saying like like
I mean, it was the
You know.
easiest. It's probably the easiest for. It was in for like a young audience, like 6-year-olds. So a 6-year-old sees a
Not
big
6-year-olds,
person and a
like
little person.
12-year-olds.
I'm just
Like,
saying.
you know.
It's just 'cause
Like
it's
guys with
and it's
chains.
also like when
Difference.
but
It
it's
was a
also
Farrelly
like
Brothers movie. Yeah.
when I don't like when I see you if I like meet a fat guy and he's like really like nice. It's not like I'm standing there like you know what you might be a fat ass
I
but you're skinny in my book. Like it's like
Well, it's like
It's
if
more
I
just like,
expect
you're a
all
good dude.
fat
You're a
people
good guy,
to be
you know?
nice
I agree with
because
that.
their personality is forced to match their body.
it's
type.
funny how a lot of fat people are not nice though. Like,
Because they
people are
went through
assholes.
shit.
yeah, because they feel like they've always. I mean, I understand. Like, if you're fat, like as a child, you probably did get attacked a lot.
I was fat and crippled, and I was the youngest. in
I
my
gotta
weight
do-
I
watch
only
group.
got attacked because people couldn't miss you.
But yeah.
Dude, I am on fire with these
zingers
zingers.
tonight.
I
Oh
love
my
it.
god.
This is just
Jesus.
like
I am firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, so welcome back to a podcast orange. Yeah.
The 1950s clip.
Today we've got the one-liner king, Mr. Jackie Robinson.
No, but dude, but it's the opposite. That's true. Some really like traditionally beautiful people can have ugly personalities. I used to know this girl named
This is
Rachel
so woke.
from college.
This is pretty woke.
This is
The
pretty
wokest.
podcast, but she was like
Podcast
really
PC.
fucking hot. Everybody would
PC
fuck her,
orange.
but she was such a stupid,
I love
shallow
those types.
cunt.
Yeah.
So it's like her
This is
personality
this
was
is
like a
pretty woke.
0. Her personality was a 0, and
Did she
was
not let
really
you
hot.
fuck her?
So she was like a 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
Must
People
have
have
been
said
pretty
that.
significant.
People
It
say that. they're
averaged
like,
out like.
Yeah, it
I dig
averages out.
people be like, "Oh, they're so dumb that it turns me off." I don't get that. Like, I'll still fuck you. Like,
But it's not just dumb.
You
It's
can-
just like a.
There's a difference between like fucking and then like
She's just like an-
masturbating into a female, and I think we should clear that up.
Yeah.
Frankie, no.
But it's
you
also-
can talk, Frankie. People
Frankie
need to know
the
your
mime
Frankie's
over
like
here.
signing
Fucking-
over. to
I'm
Dana.
having to
He's like,
say his thing.
You have to sign you what Frankie has to sign what he's gonna say to Dana, and Dana's gonna repeat it for us.
We got a fucking mute on the podcast.
You have an X-Man today.
There's a lot of crippled people in this building, and we accept all disabled people.
Yo, let's get some over in here.
Yeah,
We just get everybody to like guest on.
I'm the
fucking
only
show.
like just disabled, flat out disabled person in the whole complex.
Everyone
I
else here is old, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
That's
God.
not even. It's
Quiet
funny how they
hours.
probably consider that a disability. Like you're just old. You fucking.
Yeah, it's like,
it's gross.
it's like, see, you can't walk because of an insanely rare condition.
My
You're
legs
just
have carried me
You're
further
just
in
too
this
old
life
to
than
be
yours will.
alive,
Yeah.
really. Like, you should be dead. Like,
well, yeah.
maybe we should say something.
No, well,
Some
definitely.
grandma,
When
like
you're-
a floor above us, is just like.
When you're
No,
old, your
Mary
body just
lives
starts to
upstairs.
melt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your body just starts to like go down to the ground eventually.
I'm terrified of getting old because I'm like an 80-year-old right now at like 32.
True.
So,
I mean,
like-
if you just keep in shape, though, as best as you can,
Fuck
obviously.
you.
That's what I
You
thought
know,
too.
you
and
gotta go out and wheel around a little and work your wheels.
I don't know,
You gotta
just you can lift weight.
WD-40.
You can lift.
Do you know how
weight.
unsymmetrical I would look? I know what you
Well,
mean, like
yeah.
heart
Yeah.
health and whatnot. How dare you? Cardio is very important.
I mean, also just eating right and stuff. Like, there's a lot of ways to, like, sort of fight the process of aging. But yeah, for the most part, like, when you get old and you pass a certain age, your body's just like, dude, I can't lift shit like that anymore. Like, and then your back is just like
You'll all
hurt
be
now
like me
forever.
soon.
Like,
Yes.
you pick up like one big thing and your back's like, bro, like we don't do that now. And then you're like, ah, and your doctor's like,
Your back just
so.
quits.
Yeah, your doctor's like, so I give you till you're 60 to walk. And you're like, what? It's like, yeah, dude, you're old. What do you think? Like, you're not gonna be walking
Why?
soon. I don't know what you want from me.
You,
Like,
you sound like every one of my doctors. Ouch.
Damn.
No,
Damn,
but it's
I
true.
can
Like,
say
I
if
don't
you
get
get like
that
really fucking in shape, you could be part of the Special Olympics.
I
mean,
was
fucking-
part of the Special Olympics, and that was my very first bit that I ever told on Long Island.
I wasn't even trying
Did
to
you
like
do it for
roast
the
you. I was
bit?
being honest.
No, I know. I appreciate it. I qualify for wheelchair basketball too. Everybody
you know.
does. My mom put me in the 200-meter dash,
real.
and that's
do?
why I
Was that a
have
dick move?
trauma. Yo, yeah, I lost
Oh,
against.
yeah, that was a dick move.
I lost against a fucking amputated black kid.
All right,
and
now,
that's-
honey, we need to put her into something that she can like
I'm
win.
like, everybody else.
How about the 200-meter?
Exactly. And she was like, "You can invite your class, and we'll tell the
Maybe
elementary
a pole
school."
vaulter.
Yeah, they had me like training for it in
Dan is
gym
doing
class.
hurdles now.
Yo, they signed
That was a dick move.
Yo, can I
Bro.
shout out to Plain Edge High School for making me do the fucking mile run in front of the entire high school? 'Cause thank you, Plain Edge High School.
What high school?
Plain Edge High
Why'd you
School.
have to
Shout
do it in
out
front of the?
to
I had to do it in front of the whole high school.
What? Because
Yeah,
they
Yeah,
they
big call out, big
segregated
call out
like
there.
the sped gym from like the regular gym, and I was the only like
The
super.
spim.
Well, here's the thing. Like,
You and I both thought it. The spim.
I love it.
It's like, well, what are you doing in the gym? It's like, it's like, no, you go to the spim. It's over.
Right. So,
Well,
well,
dodgeballs, they just throw shit at each other.
so I found a note in 7th grade that was exactly like this conversation,
Oh,
except it was
God.
outside of the locker room. And it was like, "Did you guys see Dana doing badminton? That dumb bitch." And I actually like really loved badminton.
Wow.
And my brother was in. So I was a senior, and my brother was a freshman. So we had one class together, and it was gym, and he was hurt, and he had to like fight people and shit. And it was like, shout out to Brian for thank you. But like, yeah, I didn't want to play badminton anymore. Fuck Plain Edge High School.
Nah, fuck all. I mean, fuck all high schools in general. I mean,
Shoot 'em
you know,
all,
they're
I
shitty
say.
for a lot of reasons, but part of it is the system, the educational system itself. Part of it is.
I was
Please
thinking-
don't. Can none of our listeners, please, nobody listening to this shoot up a school.
It's funny also how I'm gonna work at a high school one day.
I definitely posted on fucking my Facebook that I watched an entire like YouTube true crime like special about school shooters.
I mean,
I have,
it's,
like, a special
it's one thing to
interest in
watch
such.
it. It's
Yeah.
another thing to
It's
say we're
interesting
gonna
how
do
the
it
mind
tonight. No, I'm
works.
kidding.
You don't want
Right?
you don't want life imitating art there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Did you ever watch? You know,
Actually,
just-
Jack, life is art.
Have you
everything.
ever seen Natural Born Killers?
I
Yeah,
want to see that movie. I've heard it's
So,
great. Don't spoil it.
Everybody who's seen Natural Born Killers, you could become Columbine killers. 'Cause that's
Oliver
exactly
Stone
what they talk about.
movie.
Like that's like what they say caused it.
Yeah, no, I want to see that.
And
movie
that
really
dirty
bad.
rap music and Marilyn Manson.
Oh yeah, they did
Yeah.
blame Manson for Columbine.
Wait, did we talk about the movie? Did you ever watch Bowling for Columbine?
Yeah, I did, and it
That's
was
a
not.
great
It was
movie.
not what I thought it was in
I
7th
love
grade.
that movie.
I
That's
thought
such
it
a
was
good
gonna be like a
movie.
Columbine
It's-
like
That was gonna be a
reenactment.
movie
It
about
wasn't.
bowling.
Well, it was about like the school shooters.
So
That's
wait,
the
it's a
only class I
it's
went
a
to was the
movie.
bowling
Wait,
class.
is it a movie about the shooting or bowling?
Where did
It's a
bowling come in?
documentary
They-
about.
Go ahead. No,
Sorry.
you
Tell us
go.
about
You go.
bowling.
You're the guest. You
You're
fucking
a
go.
boy.
Go.
I'm something of
Jesus
a semi-pro
Christ.
armchair film enthusiast
Could be
myself.
bowler.
Well, I thought when I saw this movie in 7th grade with my friend Gia, who I forced to go, I had thought it was like going to be a Columbine reenactment, and I was thrilled. But
You're like, I can't wait to
it
see the action
was,
in real time.
it was a documentary. It's a Michael Moore documentary, and it's about how these killers, they had one class together, and it was bowling, and it was at like 6:45 in the morning, and that's like the only class they
It was
went
in
to.
class though.
It was a class.
No, they just.
How dare you.
They decided to go bowling before school.
No, they took a 6:45 a.m. class
It
every
was a
Tuesday,
bowling
Thursday.
class?
No, they
it was
didn't
a
have
bowling.
a bowling class. They
It was their
decided-
gym. I will pull it up on my
Dylan,
textbook
no.
right
Jamie,
now.
could you
I
pull
have
that
it.
article up?
I can. I
Jamie,
can. Where's my
Frankie's
phone?
gonna be our Jamie.
Dude, they,
Frankie, could
Eric,
you pull that
Eric,
article
Eric,
up?
Dylan Harris, and
Hold on,
Eric
Frankie's-
Klebold decided.
Klebold, you fucking jerk.
Listen,
Tell me
all right,
what's
you guys.
going on.
Frankie is legitimately going to pull this article up.
Eric Harris
I have a whole
and
textbook on my
Dylan
phone
Klebold
about it. Like I
fucking
studied.
bowled before high school.
You have a whole
because it was
textbook
It's
on
called
your phone?
Columbine. It's,
You have that on
Yeah.
your phone?
Yeah, I do. No, so I can pull this exact thing
Yo,
up.
you want to send that?
I can.
It's like that's
No.
kind of disgusting.
I-
You want to send that?
I see, like, I can't, like, physically do work, but I am interested in shit. So, like, I find, like, the mindset behind, like, how two people could hate a school so much and then become friends and then, like, plan it out and nobody knows. And my mom found weed in my socks, and why didn't they find the whole guns and shit and all their?
All right, so here's thank you for the article, Jamie/Frankie. Bowling. The film's title refers to the story that Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, this is Wikipedia, by the way, the two students responsible for the Columbine high school massacre attended a school bowling class
Fuck you,
at
sir.
6 a.m. on the day they committed the attacks at school.
Okay, fine.
Go home to your
It started
flashlight.
at 11:17 a.m. What is it? Wait, hold on. This next part said they are really great American heroes and should be revered. That's great. I was like, wait a minute, what?
I was allowed to edit.
That was-
Yeah.
Dana just
Jada's
went on the
like,
website before.
Dana's like, yeah, I actually have an account on Wikipedia.
They
Eric
weren't-
Harris fan at gmail.com.
There's a whole like true crime like underbelly of like girls who like really want to be like, I can fix him, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, dude. Well,
Yeah,
girls
they-
fetishize
yeah.
any sort of like
baby bird syndrome,
guy.
broken bird.
That guy
Yeah.
Richard Ramirez, who was a
Who?
big serial killer in the '80s. A
Oh,
lot
yes.
of women thought he was hot.
The Night
also,
Stalker?
Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Some girls are like.
Bundy
fucked
looked
up.
a lot like Tom.
Well, you know, I consider him a big comedic influence.
He was kind of witty, like he had a
Well, I mean, the thing is, with
I
Ted,
watched it.
with the guy you're talking about, what was his name again?
Richard Ramirez.
Wasn't his name the Night Stalker?
Yes.
Like that guy, you see pictures of that guy though. You look at him, and you're like, that guy's terrifying. Like
Yeah.
Ted Bundy just looks like you're a dude. Like I can imagine that guy walking into the UPS store, and I'm just like, hey, what's up, Mr. Bundy? And he's like, yeah, I'm just dropping
Just
off.
a regular
again.
guy.
Like, but with like, if the Night Stalker walked in, I would just be like,
Well, no, Richard
Hello?
Ramirez
Uh-huh.
definitely had some issues that he showed in court.
well,
Definitely.
no, he was a fucked up man.
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
he
you
was-
think
yeah.
so? You think a serial killer?
No, but like,
Yeah.
like I said, there's
I don't
signs
know.
that you could tell. Like
Maybe-
this guy carved
maybe-
this thing in his hand.
Maybe I can fix him.
Hey, pop
Maybe it's
quiz. Pop quiz. What does UPS stand for?
You're fucking-
Unpotty trained sucker.
Oh,
Dana? What do you think it stands for?
you're a penis
United
sucker.
Postal Service, right?
United Parcel
Close.
Service. Actually.
Yes, he's right.
United
Parcel.
what?
United
Parcel.
Parcel Service.
United
Yeah.
Parcel.
Postal
I just thought we'd give a shout
Because
out.
USPS is United States Postal
Oh,
Service.
right, okay.
UPS is United Parcel Service. FedEx is faggot.
Faggot eats dicks.
Faggot eats dick.
Which is the one that fucked with Tom Hanks and left him on an island.
Oh,
That's
FedEx.
Fuck
FedEx.
FedEx.
That's like the weirdest example of product placement I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, hey, can we push? Can we have like a product spot in your movie? We're looking to get some like film ads. It's like, all right, so your plane is gonna crash.
Well, that's
That's why
Well,
no, like,
okay.
That's also like SeaWorld in Jaws 3.
Yeah.
They used SeaWorld and they had like a shark. Why would SeaWorld be like, hey, come to our place. We have
Yeah.
a deadly shark.
Yeah, we have a deadly
Murder.
shark and a really inefficient tank that's gonna shatter and release it.
I'm about to ruin a lot of movies for you guys because a fun fact that I learned on YouTube in my studies is that Apple will not allow any villain in any movie to use any sort of Apple product. So if
Really?
you look, yes.
That's
Wow.
So if
That's
you wanna,
That's
weird.
That's
why they don't want to? They don't
That's
want the bad association.
Fucking no, but
with-
that's just weird.
no.
Like,
There's
that's
been a lot of
subconscious.
movies.
like
That's-
yeah,
that's-
they're
But I
trying.
don't even notice.
But I
like,
mean, think
them
about it.
not
Even like
using a
cigarette
fucking-
companies.
I
Think
know,
of
but you don't
because that's a
wanna
different level of brainwashing.
subwalk.
Because even like cigarette, like
You were
cigarette.
just saying what a
It's
shame
lower-
it
it's a
was
deeper
that
level.
it was bad product placing, and so I'm
Well, yeah.
explaining an example where there's a rule, and you're like, "Fuck that!"
Well, no,
rule."
that is no, but it's just kind of weird because it's like it's bad product placing for FedEx, but for FedEx it's more just weird because it's weird that they would be like, yeah, FedEx's equipment might be involved in a disaster. But like,
you might not get your
Yeah.
packages.
but the thing is, it's like
I get it.
with things like that, like even cigarette companies, which have been like known to be trying to brainwash
Big-
people until
big
laws are
tobacco.
passed. Like villains were seen smoking cigarettes still. It's not like they were like no bad guys can smoke. They were just like yeah.
well, they're not
everybody
allowed
can
to.
fucking
They're not
smoke, like-
allowed.
Well, so
to
everybody
Now
has their
commercials.
phone.
Well, yeah,
or
that
anything.
until when the laws are passed. My point is, it's like it's weird to say like, hey, no bad guys can be shown with an
With
iPhone
an Apple
in their
product.
hand.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna make a
Well,
movie
Well, why
now.
not? Like, what
It's
if he has
sad
a
that
fucking
there
iPhone?
has to be
that
a rule
really
for that.
really says a lot about how Apple really has a lot of influence over pop
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah.
You know, like if
Well,
really,
they
you can't think of a single
they
villain
get
that
paid a
uses an
certain
Apple
amount.
product.
So like,
That's so weird. Like,
there's a reason why movies use Coke instead of Pepsi and etc. And it's because they pay. So Apple Everybody has an iPhone. If you have an Android, I assume you're poor. Even I have an iPhone, and I
Tom
live
has an
on
Android.
I have an iPhone. What the
Tom's
fuck are you
poor.
talking about?
You need
I don't have an
Tom
Android.
has the newest smart thing.
No, I have
How dare
a.
you.
need an
Yeah,
Android.
I have an iPhone, but it is an 8. So.
I have the 6S.
I
I don't even give a shit.
You have the 8 Plus. You're better than Tom.
You know what this means? Sam? We need to make a horror film about a slasher and call him the iPhone Killer.
Yes.
And he just calls people specifically on
Actually, the
iPhones.
kids. you know how I'm working on a TV show with those guys?
Yes.
They did make that movie just like this Halloween past. It's called Phone Jones.
Phone
They
Jones.
made a movie called Phone Jones.
Sounds like the Ring,
but
with
it's
phone.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's basically like a Ring type of character who comes through your phone and like kills you through social media.
Okay.
So-
And like
Really?
I have yet to like watch it. I've seen clips of it. It's well made.
That's
and
the Ring
they,
3. They've already made that. That's,
Oh, did they?
Well, there's
That's
also
like- yeah.
Unfriended.
Oh fuck.
There was also Unfriended.
Yeah, but
they
Unfriended,
go
I'm pretty
viral.
sure-
No,
I'm
it's
pretty
like
sucks.
Samara crawls through the fucking
Unfriended was alright. It was an alright
computer
movie.
screen.
I don't know.
True.
I like
But yeah,
Unfriended.
either way, these kids I'm working with
I give it a pass.
made a
I
version.
did too.
I
didn't
like Unfriended.
Either way,
I like
these,
Unfriended. I didn't like, what was it? They did like a fucking...
either way, shout out Tan Clan. They did make a version of it. It's called Phone Jones.
You know what's a
Check it
good
out.
school
Sorry.
shooter movie?
That's
I know I'm
fine.
going all over the place. Did you ever see the movie called Elephant?
Yes! And I can't find it anywhere.
Elephant?
It's a great
It's
movie.
so good.
Nah, I
It's a
haven't
Very-
Gus Van Sant movie.
You're gonna want to watch Zero Day when you get home, and you're gonna see that Zero Day is a much better film in terms of documenting, rather than the artsy part of Elephant.
Were
if you know this
Were you
shit.
trying to like one up my suggestion?
I'm just
there?
no, I'm just
Yeah,
trying.
right.
You seemed interested.
I got even.
Yeah, well, that's a good movie, but you know what's a good movie? Schindler's List.
Yeah, you know what movie would make your movie look like dog shit?
Well, no, it's like yeah, that's exactly what I do. Thanks.
I'm kidding.
I'm not.
First of all,
I
it's
do.
be ribbon. This is what we're doing. You know, we're boys here.
Why haven't you said your line? There's truth to every joke. Yeah,
What?
that's what he says to me every time I get in a fight. There's truth to every joke.
So sometimes Dana and I are talking, right? As people do. And sometimes she'll say something, and it'll be
Sassy.
interpreted by me or her as rude. And usually when it's interpreted by me as rude, I say the following statement, quote my friend who quoted for somebody else, I don't know who.
No one cares.
But anyway, the point is that there is truth to every joke, and that's what makes it funny.
And it is true that there is truth to every joke, and it is what makes
Yeah.
it funny, and I don't give a fuck.
But it
about
depends on
rude.
what you mean.
But
'cause
if you're insulting
that
me
doesn't
and
always
it's a
mean-
joke,
that doesn't know.
there's a
But
little truth to it.
I'm Dana from the land of passive
But-
For
aggressiva.
example, you called me. What name did you call me before this podcast started recording, Dan?
Francine.
Okay, there's truth to every joke.
Yeah, your
So
name
you're
is
saying
Francis.
I have feminine qualities.
No, your,
yeah, I was
your
pretty
name
sure
is
you were trans when I walked in.
Francis.
I'm kidding.
I could come
Your
up with a
name
better
is
name
Francis.
than
Well, no,
that.
'cause
so I just
I'll-
change it.
A masculine
I'll be
name.
I mean, you know, what you're saying is true, but I feel like the truth to every joke thing is like when I make a joke where, like, let's say I
I'm a
used to have,
fucking comedian.
I used to have jokes about like killing babies,
Yes.
and like you know, there's obviously
That's
truth
edgy.
to every joke, and like yes, I kill babies for real.
I'll
No, but
continue-
it's not. I feel like that's in that sense. Like there's still truth to that joke, but not in the sense that I kill babies, but in the sense that there
What?
are people who kill babies in the world. That's the truth. Like
I
yes,
know.
there's people in the world who are that fucked up and sick. I mean, I don't do it. I'm joking about it as if I do it, but the truth lies in that it does exist somewhere. But I think with an insult, it's tougher because like. You
Well-
know, if you're like, oh, like Jack, I think you're a fucking pussy, but I'm joking.
Yeah.
Like,
Just
if there is
kidding,
truth
bro.
in that, it's like, I just, you know, I didn't mean it. It's like,
Well, that's like where's the fine line between
Yeah, the
busting
line is-
balls and like bullying?
Amen.
You know,
It
there's
depends.
like there's
Andrew
a weird fine line.
Andrew Schultz.
Well, there's a weird fine line between
like,
like, oh, I'm
bullies
just kidding,
from-
man,
Exactly.
and then like you say some shit like when you know like me and you and like other comics, we say some shit that like is pretty
love-
fucking mean.
I said retard
but it's
into the
also
mic,
like
I
just
love
in the
it.
vein of it's a joke.
Yeah.
But like other people, if they heard it, they'd be like,
Out of
Yeah, I
why
context,
can't
would
like,
you
believe-
say that to your friend? You know?
Oh, honestly, they just be like, these people are fucking assholes.
you sound like my
shit,
psychiatrist,
it's like-
Jack, and I don't appreciate it.
But, I mean, I think a lot of it has
Sitting
to
like
do
this.
with, I think a lot of it has to do with if it's fair and even. Like, if
It's not
everyone
a
gets
feminine
it.
fucking. I would call him Francine too if he drank Bud Light mangoes.
No, yeah,
Light,
that's pretty
smart,
gay, bro.
bold
Wait,
mangoes.
what are you saying, Tom?
No, I'm saying, it's like, you know, when the I was talking about comedians shitting on each other.
Yeah.
I think what makes it that good is when it's even. Like if it's even on both sides or all sides. Like if everyone's getting it and it's fair, then it's fine.
So
but
I can only do a roast against Kieran because that.
not like the stakes are even.
And
like
I did a roast against Kieran and I won, so fuck you, Kieran.
No, more like if you shit on me and I like shit on you back.
Funny?
If, we just both have to get a dig on each other.
Like making,
but if not, then it's 2 digs in a row is an attack to you.
Kinda
Okay,
like if you're
like 4 digs for me. It's
if you're like if someone's digging at somebody, like I've seen, and to be fair, I've seen people I know do this. Like no offense to Andrew Bergen, but he's definitely guilty of like sometimes he'll just be giving it to somebody, and like it is funny to watch because Andrew's just hysterical, but like. It is funny, but sometimes he gets so excited about his roasting, and I'll just be like, "All right, dude, like you gave it, you've been giving it to him for like 30 seconds now."
I love picking. I do that sometimes too. It's hard from the stage when you're on a roll too, and there's somebody who's just so pickable.
Well, if someone is like heckling you and they're asking for it, sometimes like. There's nothing you can do, but sometimes a comedian will start picking on a heckler too much, and I'm like, all right, like you already made them shut up, like now you're kind of making it look weird. Now it looks weird on your part.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I think it all has to do with volume, and as long as it's even, like if you get upset when she calls you Francine, come up with a funny name for her.
Don't you dare.
Like filthy cripple. No, I'm kidding. But I think that's what it's about. It's about them because what makes it fun and friendly is that you are friends and you know each other.
If you guys are just tuning up, if somebody's because there's some people that are like the butt of every joke in a group.
Yeah, and that's always a little uncomfortable because you're like you see.
It's not fair to. And
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of it. Like I've been the butt of certain groups, and I've also had friends who were the butt of groups I was in.
Same.
I learned to not be the butt of certain groups because I was the butt of certain groups, and that is why I'm funny, because I know that...
Well, you have to fight your way out of that position.
These legs have brought me so far in life. Further than any of my I wouldn't be funny if I didn't have
jelly legs, but an acid tongue.
See, I always live by the motto... I always live by the model, make fun of the Chinese kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just remember
go for an easy talk.
It was more for me and my friends. It was always the dumb kid.
Yeah.
Like that's why it wound up being me a lot because if you if you're the kid like me who's constantly dropping shit
your
or
mom
like
won't
break
call.
stuff all the time, like your friend is gonna be like. After a while, your friends are just going to catch on that you're kind of an idiot.
Look, you're finally bigger at something.
Ooh. No, my shit's definitely thicker. We are currently comparing versions of the Novo Smock model. I have the X, the new one, and you have the gay over there.
Jack, put your pants back on.
That's consistent with the
I said, oh.
Yeah. I'm the least interested out of this. Like,
I know you'd have no vape.
Don't give
you
a
have
shit
no
at
anything.
all about vaping and fucking tobacco.
No,
Your
it's a
lungs are
burden.
clean.
I'm just going to say this.
It's a burden.
I fucking hate nicotine more than anything. Like, I hate that I'm addicted to it. I hate that it's part of my life. Yeah, you can totally hit this.
It's less interesting talking about that than it is talking about cars for me.
Well, I mean, like nicotine is. There's nothing funny about. Like, I could tell you some funny stories. Like, I don't know if have I ever shared the story of the vape off on this podcast.
No.
All right, so this is a really cringeworthy moment of my life, and I'll make it quick.
Are you sure you want to bring it up?
Yes, because it's not that bad. But really, what it is like in the era of the box mods, which is like that era in vaping when everyone had those giant fucking box things that were literally like machines, and like they just produced these massive cumulonimbus clouds like blowing out like. That was really what got me hooked on vaping is because I just thought it was fun to rip the clouds. Like, my friend would have one, I'd be like, yo, can I get a cloud? And, I'd be like, yo, clouds?
Like, making clouds.
Yeah, and, my friends would be like, oh, fine. Like, you're using all my juice, but fine. And then,
I have a crippling
one day we're all in my buddy's garage, and we're drunk as fuck, and we're, like, smoking in. And, like, we have, like, a beer pong table set up. And we start, like, everyone's hitting clouds. It's so cloudy in there. We started having a cloud off where we tried to see who could blow, like, the longest cloud. And we were literally, like, we would, like, have someone rip the vape for, like, 30 seconds, blow a cloud, and then we would have someone take a tape I shit you not, a tape measure, and literally measure how far the cloud went.
Who won?
At one point, this kid, I remember this kid. I won't say his real name, but I know him as Young. I know him as Young Hoff. Shout out Young Hoff.
Hashtag.
Hoff was
Hashtag Young Hoff.
Hoff is this Asian kid, and he's a cool guy, and like he
Chinese?
I actually don't know. But
That's an oxymoron.
he was really big on the vaping, like almost more of a fiend than I was. And
They have bigger lungs,
he
traditionally.
got an 8-foot cloud, and I shit you not, when we saw that measurement hit 8 feet, the room like lit up. It was like it's like you ever seen that
like when you flip the
freestyle
bottle.
video with all the black guys who were like, oh,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was like that. Like we were like running out of the room. We were like,
It
8 feet.
Impressive.
It was
It's
one-
like
Well,
lung
It was one of
capacity.
the dumbest moments of my life, but I genuinely did, like, I enjoyed it, and I genuinely cherish it as a memory, but at the same time, it's so cringy because
You know,
nicotine is just so disgusting and awful. Like,
Yeah.
it makes sense to me that the guy with the smallest dick blows the biggest cloud.
I'm sorry, Hoff, I didn't say
Sorry.
that.
I just, you know what I
You're
never
not
got was like,
Friend's a
I don't know.
comedian now.
I mean, you know, you're probably sick of hearing this from. I just never understood like the appeal. I tried smoking a cigarette once, and I'm like, it doesn't get you high.
The
doesn't-
thing is,
so I
you've
just-
never
I
got a
don't
head
get-
rush, though? What about the head rush? You never
You
actually
didn't have
felt
to
like...
sit down from a cigarette
It
ever?
just
You ever,
tasted
yeah,
gross.
dude,
It
I
just
remember
tasted gross. I was like, I don't want to do this. This is
You
You're
probably
gonna get
didn't
your
breathe
last
it in.
Santosi.
Yeah, I remember the
podcast.
first time I smoked a cigarette, it was a weird experience. Like, I remember because I was just like, me and my friends were waiting to pick up Bud, and like we were just like waiting outside this dude's like apartment, and they're smoking a Bogue, and they're like, you want a Bogue, Tom? And I was like, it was like college. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll take. I was like in between semesters, but I was college age. I was like, yeah, I'll take a Bogue. Fuck it, I'm in college. I'm trying things, and then,
Right.
dude, I smoked. I took one hit, and at this point, I already knew how to smoke, so I actually breathed it in.
Inhale.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, dude, my head was like spinning. Like, it's like that Louis bit where he talks about smoking
Yeah.
weed and everything's like,
yeah.
like, it was like that, but with nicotine. I was like, yo. And my friends were like, yo, you're getting the head rush, right? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, that's the shit. I wish I still got that. And that's the thing, is like nicotine actually has this insanely addictive, like, super potent, like, feeling that you get in the beginning that vanishes so quickly. And that's what makes it so addictive. It's like,
So you're
I
chasing
remember my
that
first-
rush.
yeah, I'm chasing that first head rush I ever got. It literally knocked me on my ass. If I wasn't leaning on a car, I would have laid on the ground. Like, I was literally like,
It does.
it's wild. Like, it has an effect on you. It does. But the thing about it is, once you start smoking, it becomes a satisfaction thing. It's not like, oh, here's this cool head rush. Now it's like, I'm flipping out. I need a cig. And
See,
we're
I
like,
can relate to that because I love nitrous
Masturbation.
oxide.
Yeah.
about
it
it-
really
I just
reflects
think
the,
it's fun-
the way I feel about codeine.
I just think it's funny how different Tom and I's like first cigarette stories are. Because I was 9 and I stole.
Whoa.
I stole a Marblade out of my
Shit.
mom's
How old are you?
purse.
Bruh. Talk about an early
And I-
bloomer.
You have polio.
Are you sure you
And I
got
had to have-
Are you
Dana
sure
was
that's? Are you sure you didn't get
You're at
polio
least
from that?
Dana was watching Monsters Inc. and
My
she was
mom,
like,
I
"This is
vividly
bullshit."
remember my mom like letting me take a drag from her cigarette when I was like 6. She was like, "Come over here," and she like just
Hey, come over here,
Karen.
polio.
sweetie.
She wanted to check my lungs because polio victims you typically
We're
don't, and
woke
I
here.
have the
So
strength.
she's like, you know what? Let's
ruin
use a
my
good way
body.
to see if my daughter has healthy lungs.
Yeah.
Let her take a hit of my cigarette.
It was a Marblade.
That'll tell me. It was a Marblade.
Yeah, it's hurtful.
Dude.
Crips can smoke too. Like people at high school when I used to smoke like regularly, I was on the smoking corner. I was that girl, and like people were like thought it was odd that like the handicapped girl, because nobody really knows like a handicapped person without a mental problem unless you know me, right? Like
Well, there's the
I
physical
always
and the
assume.
mental.
Well,
I know,
I mean,
but I
there's-
always assume.
there's,
Yeah,
um,
thank you, Tom.
There's well, you know, there's also
You got
Me and
both.
Karen,
there's
like,
also
oh, of course.
there's also Crazy Grandpa or
Yeah.
whoever. What's his name? I forgot his name.
Crazy Grandpa.
Who plays?
Oh,
him?
that guy's terrific.
Oh, Carlo. Yeah, Carlo.
Carlo thanked me to coming to an open mic once. I think it was your open mic.
Oh yeah.
I'm Crazy Grandpa.
How you doing, my friend?
Oh,
How you doing?
I
I'm Crazy
Grandpa.
Grandpa.
Comics on this, yeah.
So, how you doing? It's like to have literally like he spends 4 minutes just saying how you doing.
I remember,
like
it's like he got. I don't think the thing about it is, I think he didn't really have any jokes. He just wanted to be like this character.
There's some people who just want to go on stage and think that they want to.
Well, some people, I think some
That's
people
his
don't
alter
really
ego. He
understand.
wants you to know.
They just don't really know how to do this, and
Yeah,
but they want to do it, and it's like. They're like, well, maybe I'll do this weird kooky
like
thing.
I have a character,
We
but I don't
all
know what
go
he
through that,
says. It's kind of just like a. He did say one thing that really made me laugh though. One time he was at Ziggy's and he was his crazy grandpa, and he's like, "Does anyone have a girlfriend here?" He's like, "No." And he's like, "Really? A room full of guys? Not one of you guys has a girlfriend?" I don't know why that really made me laugh. I just took that in. I was like,
give him
"Holy
that
shit,
one.
that's pretty funny."
I'll give
like,
him that.
there's like 30 guys here.
I'll tell you what, that's better than any joke I've ever heard Jim Raya say. So
Yes.
there you go for that. But we shit on Jim Raya a lot on this podcast.
Isn't it Raya?
I don't know.
He lets me
For
use
somebody
Disney
who's
Plus
literally
stuff.
like never for someone who will literally never have any clout, it's weird that we shit on him. This
I like. I mean, he's a nice guy.
He's the
I
male
I don't wanna
Bonnie
shit on him as a
Scalise.
person.
Leave
He's
him
just
be.
I
He's
have
like
a
nice, but his political value, like him, I don't give a fuck. Bonnie knows that I disagree with her politically because we're friends on Facebook,
Well, but
and
Bonnie's
I
like-
get upset when I find her memes funny.
I remember
like that.
one time I was at an open mic and Bonnie was doing her classic, and I don't take this the wrong way.
I won't.
If you ever hear this, Bonnie, don't take this the wrong way.
Bonnie
I love you,
is
Bonnie. I
gonna
really
take
do.
it the wrong way.
But she was like doing her joke where she does the "What do liberals and my mother-in-law have in common?"
Yeah.
And like, before anyone could say the punchline or she could, I was just like, "They're right." And, like everyone just cracked up because it's like.
I love
Bonnie is one person who, when she does say political things, she makes her views look very bad. Like,
Yeah.
If you even
She's
agreed
stupid.
with abortion, if you were anti-abortion and you heard
baby
Bonnie
kill.
say something pro-life, you'd probably be like, "Ugh," like, you know what I mean?
This is what I sound like, you know. Well, it's like, and here's the thing: is that there's some people that like you hear their political opinions are just horrible, but then you meet them and they're like, "He's a nice guy," and it's like I find that
But
with a
there's
lot of the comics, and it's like. I don't know. It's a weird contradiction.
There's a
Like,
reason Bonnie was cursed with like a lot of autism, and it's her political views.
God, just kidding.
And if she just vaccinated her kids, this wouldn't be a problem because vaccines cure autism
They cure autism.
and give you polio.
Well, there's truth to every joke.
Da! Zing.
Just to bring a callback.
All right, a podcast misinformation.
No, well, Bonnie came up to me one time, and it was like it was like a disability standoff. She was like, "Autism is the hardest thing. It's so much harder than what you have."
It's
basically,
so much harder than polio.
basically.
Fuck.
And I was like, maybe not for them, for you as the caretaker, but they get to shit on the walls of their bathroom and have somebody else clean it up and laugh, and I can't do that. I have to know my misery, and it's not fair.
Ignorance is bliss.
Well, Bonnie, you heard it here.
I had to clean up my own shit. My mom wouldn't do it
You know
for
what,
me.
Dana? I say go to one of your neighbor's house and like, I have to use the bathroom and then just like shit on their wall and then just.
Yeah, just go to your.
I'm gonna blame the vaccine. Are you
Magically
guys
started-
getting the COVID vaccine? What are you?
I'm
going.
I know my family's gonna get it. Like my mom's like, she's like, I'm getting it instantly, and I'm like,
Put it.
I guess I'm gonna get it. Yeah.
I know something's fun. Like,
I just want to wait for other people to get it first, and then when everyone is fine, I'll be like, all right.
Now
I'm
I'm
getting
getting.
it. I just want everyone to be fine.
I'm doing it.
I saw an article about people getting facial paralysis after getting it,
Bell's palsy.
and like yes, they only lasted like 3 days, and it wasn't permanent. But
Dude,
still.
I am such a sick,
Bell's
horrible
palsy
human
isn't that
being.
bad. It's
because
a year top.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: I am such a sick, horrible human being. Like what you said earlier is true. Because I saw. I can't
tell already. I'm
I-
over it.
I saw an article the other day that said like this vaccine led to facial paralysis, and then I saw a picture of a guy like.
You are a monster.
That is true. But everybody, like, yeah.
It objectively looked funny.
I shared
like,
it.
wow, I'm fucking awful.
No.
'Cause that was my
Well, I mean,
favorite.
I'm shared it. I was like, look, if the vaccine turns me into Sylvester Stallone, I'm still fine
No,
with
I
that.
can't deal with more disabled like comedians who get like shit from vaccines. Like I can't compete with that. That's my only thing I got. So,
Yeah.
so
Town ain't big enough
I'm
for the two of
hoping
us.
That ain't
vaccines-
big enough for polio and COVID.
Right? Like that's how I know Tom doesn't kill babies. Because what are the odds of two people who kill babies
Can't be two
being
baby
on a
killers.
podcast?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Only one. That's why we have.
And
Joe
I know
here.
Frankie's here. So
Well, is the morning after pill killing a baby?
is the sock killing
Kind
baby?
of.
In a way. It's a potential baby.
It's killing a baby that very well could happen. Yeah.
I don't understand, like, I don't know. I don't understand the people that get, like, so freaked out by abortion.
Me neither. Like,
I
even
don't- I don't
people will be
get it.
like,
Just fucking
people will be
kill a
like,
baby.
can you at least admit that it's killing a baby? And I'm like, yeah, but
I mean, it
still, like,
Whatever,
it's just,
you know.
like,
it's not
it-
even a. It's like, dude.
depends on the trimester.
I mean, it's like, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna abort like a fully formed child, like
Like,
almost
how
almost
dilated
born
does
baby,
the vagina
that's
have to
kind of
be?
one thing. But like, if you're just gonna take that shrimp out of your stomach, like.
Also, I feel like every time I
If I don't have
masturbate-
to pay $5.50
Yeah.
a month,
But dude, every time you masturbate, that's a bunch of like semen
Amen,
coming out
right?
of your penis.
Didn't I
Where-
just
where
That
do
would
we draw the
become
line?
people.
I
So
think
it's
the
like, what's
idea.
different?
I think the
don't-
idea is that the fetus is actually a formed genetic
This is how AI is
creation
going.
that will form into a
Dude, it
person.
doesn't have
like-
any thoughts. Or
it doesn't
any,
have
like,
thoughts, but the
like-
idea is that it will. Like if left uninterrupted, this is
Yeah, but same with
guaranteed a
sperm.
person.
Same with sperm.
Yeah, but not every sperm. Millions of sperm die every
Yeah,
time
but
you
one of
ejaculate.
those sperm could be a fucking person.
Right, so
I like
every
watching
time you
men
jack off, you
talk
kill
about
one
women
guy.
products.
Like, yeah, you kill one guy every time you jack off. But
fuck
there's
it.
also the thing is, the sperm are less valuable because there's millions of them on stock.
I like that. That
Until
should be like
certain
an
age,
ad.
though, and then
Yeah.
it's like.
Unless-
That should be like an anti-masturbation ad. You kill one guy every time.
Yeah,
Tom's
listen,
a
listen,
PSA.
how do you feel knowing that every time you jerk off, you kill a child?
Kill
And
one.
then
Why
it's
is
like a
this-
child. It's like a little girl just like.
Why are we not platforming this as Democrats?
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm not against
woke.
abortion. I'm just more like if you wait like
You're like, I'd rather.
I don't think it. I think it should be better. The earlier the better. Like if you're gonna do it, you should
Yeah.
do it pretty.
Yeah.
I just
quick.
think it takes a lot of balls
make
for
up your
like,
mind real
and not
quick.
to sound like Brooklyn woke William here. I just think it takes a lot of balls for like a guy to tell women like you gotta be pregnant for 9 months. I'm not gonna do shit, but you gotta fuck. It's like
Yeah.
you're not doing anything.
Yeah, you don't
Like,
have to
being-
have a baby. And
Yeah, dude,
go
that
through
sounds
all
like a
the-
pain in the
yeah.
ass. I'm glad
No, it sounds like a huge pain in the ass, and
Yeah.
it also
Girl,
is
shit
like,
made you wear-
also it's just like sorry, you have to bring that life into the world. Like
Now you gotta
even if
pay
you don't
for
want
it.
to, and you're not ready, and you're not gonna raise it right.
Yeah, it's like who the fuck are you? You don't even know
Yeah.
me. Like, shut up.
Also, it's like, I remember reading an interesting paper about it that was like, I forgot who wrote it. I wish I could cite it.
Ben Shapiro.
But it was arguing, it was Ben Shapiro. It was basically arguing that abortion is a sin. No, but it was
Child
arguing.
abortion.
That was good.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you get an abortion, you're actually racist. And the
I like how
studies
your
show.
Ben Shapiro voice is the same as your Abe voice.
Yeah. Right. So anyway,
Slight difference.
here's my views on abortion.
Well,
Um,
can you say the name of the band on your shirt?
Oh, Dying Fetus. Yeah.
Oh, Dying Fetus.
Classic band.
Oh, now
Shout
I
out
see
Dying
it.
Fetus. Yeah.
All right.
No, it looks
Yeah,
like.
you
Rock
just
on your
needed to
Dying
get it out
Fetus.
there.
Is that a
wearing-
coincidence, Tom?
Yes, it is 100% actually. I wear this shirt a lot. This is just.
Tom
a-
has
There are
a
warning
fixation.
signs and red flags to
No,
every
but-
man. And
I really want to get this. Yes, shout out Dying Fetus, great band. If
Love
you're
them.
into death metal, go for it.
pro-abortion.
But
I'm gonna look them up right after.
No, they're
I'm
pretty
trying to
fire.
point
I'm
out-
gonna look 'em
They're
up.
fire. Look
I'm gonna
up,
have to listen
Killing
to-
on
to-
Adrenaline, good
this
album, good
great-
song. But so yeah, this paper was basically arguing like it's people always forget about like when it's a person being born, it's not just about the baby's life, like it's also the baby, like
Quality
the
of
woman.
life.
It's not also just that, like the woman has to consent to the use of her body for this person's gestation. Like
Yeah.
the woman has to consent
If you-
to this person using her body as an apartment for
Drinking
9
her
months.
titties.
Yeah,
If
drinking
you
her-
knew, like, it's not
if
only
you don't
that.
consent, like if you
Like
say,
that expression.
like even if it's a baby, like if
Drink
you don't
her
consent
titties.
to them using their body, they can't.
Right, but like if you think about it, like so if I looked at you and I told you like if you have this baby, it's gonna be retarded. and you're gonna have to take care of this retarded fucking baby your whole life.
Well, that's what
you can either
that's
kill
what
this
Tom's
baby.
doctor told his mother.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, like,
I would abort that baby. I'm not doing. I'm
Well,
not.
I used to
I
think-
can't. I can't
I would-
physically.
I don't
so
know
what would
if
I
I
do?
would. Well, I mean, if you can, it's one thing.
Physically
like,
cannot take care of a retarded child. What should I do?
I would
Morally.
I would never judge you.
Round table. Let's
I
do
would.
it.
I would personally not abort a kid.
King Arthur over here.
If we're doing a round table, I would personally. If we were doing a round table, we're being serious. I personally would abort David.
Helen Keller didn't want. Helen Keller was all about this. Helen Keller was like sterilize the mentally disabled.
No, but I'm saying if I. It's like, so Helen, what do you think of? What are your views on
She
abortion?
wrote it out and like she.
Dude, you want to know something fucked up? You want to know where I get my sense of humor from?
Wait, hold on. Before you go off on anything.
That wasn't a
Too
joke
many,
though. That was like Helen Keller. I just want to make sure everybody's clear. Like,
Too many people
it
talking.
would have been a terrific joke, but that wasn't a disabled joke. Like Helen Keller really was like, my views are that you should.
No, yeah, Helen Keller could speak.
This
She
blind
sounded
lady.
like a retarded duck, but she could speak.
Wow.
Dude, when I was 11 years old,
I
my
love that
dad told me this joke. I didn't even know who Helen Keller was. He said, "You want to know why Helen Keller's dog ran away?" I said, why? I don't know who that is. He's like, "Well, you would too if your name was."
It's fucked up.
That's where I get my sense of humor from.
But all right. What I was just saying, we're going round table. I personally
You would raise.
would not.
You're gonna have to be so old. I have a retard. Okay, so.
Listen, I'm just saying I
Let
wouldn't
Tom
abort a
speak.
kid just because he's retarded. Okay, I just wanted to say that. I would not abort a kid just because he's retarded. I would abort him if they told me that he's gonna like. I would almost.
vote
Are you
for
gonna
Trump.
take care of him?
No.
You have to take, but like.
No, I would abort him if I didn't have any money to raise him. Like, if I was gonna probably raise a shit stain because I literally didn't have the ability to raise him, I'd probably abort him.
You
Like,
drive it to the country, you let it out, and you drive back like you would a dog, okay? No, I'm joking. You
Tie him to a
bring
punch.
it to an institution where they can like do things.
Yeah, okay, so I here's the thing about raising a retarded kid.
Yeah.
So
So Jack, tell
I
us
would
about how your
love
parents
to do
dealt
that,
with.
man. I would love to do that. Thank you for making that obvious joke, Dave. I would fucking love to raise a retarded kid. That would be so much fun.
Would it though?
I would have people over.
No blame.
I like as soon as there's like somebody I don't want knocking, and they're like, "Hi, do you have a minute to talk?" I'd have my retarded son come out and just deck him with his
Chase him
fucking
away.
hard strength hand. Pow! And I want to get sued because I'm like, he's retarded. Fuck you, get out of my house.
And that's why
So
Bonnie
me and
has
my
it better
retarded
than me.
son. I make a sitcom about it. Me and my retarded son.
Alright,
That's what I feel about the subject.
and so I think
I'm
that
disabled and
we may
I-
have to cancel this podcast.
No, because you have a disabled person here, and I
Yeah, but
and
you're
I
not
validate
retarded.
that. But
You're not retarded.
I have a retarded cousin, and she's 65.
What? That's like saying I have a black
No,
friend.
well, listen, no, I'm just saying, I see how her parents, so her parents are.
Dana, you're not retarded.
I'm not
Are you?
retarded, I'm telling you, but I am a little retarded, and I
We're all
don't
a little
care.
No, you're
I
not.
speak for the entire disabled community, mental included.
I speak
have a
for all
mental
the
illness.
retarded.
I speak for all the tards out
I'm on
there.
the. I have DSM shit.
It's like, what is that idiocracy? I have a cousin who's retarded. I have a cousin who's retarded.
It's like
No, but I'm just saying, like, I've seen, like, her parents, so she's 40, and her parents are, like, 80 now, and, like, so they're gonna, like, die, and I just feel like it's cruel, because she's not gonna understand, like, where mom went, and that makes me sad. It's like when I have to put my cat
That's
down.
sad.
Yeah, you guys don't know. The cat's not gonna know one day that it's going to the vet, not coming back.
Well, I mean, I used to think about that because
That's
I used
sad.
to.
I don't think it's
And that's what I
appropriate to
think
bring
about.
retarded people to the vet.
It's like, Doc, can you do anything? It's like, listen, I'm an animal doctor. Yes, I know that. That's why I'm here. Can you help me?
He's shaking.
Can you please take him to a real hospital? It's like, what hospital's gonna take this thing?
You have a leash on.
You try sitting in the waiting room with this.
Not even a leash. You have one of those like animal control neck grabbers on him. You're like, why don't you get down?
He starts like growling at me.
Animal lecture.
See, if I had a
like-
retarded son, I want him to be like so fucking retarded.
Dude, this is by far
like-
the most offensive fucking episode.
You started it. No,
I didn't
no,
mean
you
to.
started it. You were the one who wanted
I did. I love it. I just want to know if you guys think
Jesus
disabled
Christ,
should breed.
Dana.
No. I
would want
appreciate the wokeness and thank you for bringing all the retards into the world, guys. I would kill.
Dude,
No, believe me, it is
I want to
definitely
end
genes like mine that bring
end
retarded
retardation
to the
now.
world.
Okay.
Don't you think it'd be fun though to just have like a house full of retarded people and just get high and play like hide and seek?
There's just a bunch of people just running around like,
Hey, fuck you, Brad!
Could you imagine though if it was literally just a house full of people constantly just like, duh! Like they're all just rocking back and forth like, duh!
So I do watch a blog that's called Fathering Autism, and they have like this girl in the back, and she's autistic, and her name's Abby, and it's actually really good. Like if you want just to like PC your shit a little bit to balance it out. If you guys
to balance it out.
If you guys really want to see what
We
autism
probably
is about,
should balance it out.
Go to hashtag Fathering Autism, and they have this girl stimming in the background, and it is real. Oh, I just feel like they did like I don't know.
They're gonna balance out their retardation.
Jeez.
I'm just saying, my
They
dad
gotta
used
balance
to.
out the spectrum.
I'm putting my mask on.
I actually,
Why? Because we discussed you? Yeah, that's
Somewhat.
You
my
guys
mask.
just ew. That's like putting like a condom.
Yo,
on
you
after
just
a guy used
you went to
it.
put your mask on. You put my mask on. You're now worse off than what you were.
Yeah, I wore you
that was a
no
pretty
points.
retarded thing to do.
Well, there is truth.
That's true. Every joke.
All right.
I love this.
Little disclaimer.
I was like, I don't want to talk about heroin,
Little
but retardation is fine, guys.
Little disclaimer. A podcast orange is nothing against the mentally challenged.
Yeah. I actually have neighbors
It
that
is
are
everything.
mentally
I'm
challenged.
pro
It
men-
is everything against the mentally challenged.
I'm definitely.
Frankie is I'll admit that Frankie is a decent outside perspective.
I'm a
but
pro
still.
mentally disabled person. I want the entire world to be mentally disabled, and I'm pro.
You know, if everyone.
I want everyone to know that
Well, you know what,
I have
Dana?
opposite views of this.
Well, you know what,
I want
Dana?
them all to breed. I want them all colors.
Well, haven't you ever
all
heard the old
spectrums.
expression, Dana? Dana, haven't you ever heard the old expression? If everybody's retarded, no one will be.
Exactly. Well, imagine having mentally
Equality
retarded
for all.
presidents. Like, the State of the Union is pickles.
Leave Donald out of it.
If we,
gotta get out of
if
here.
we were like, if we were making a list of our words, like if we were tallying off this count, we would be at like, we're way
over the line.
high.
You guys
haven't
gonna be
said rapist
demonetized pretty quick.
Rapist?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Well,
that's
who
not
said
like an
rapist?
R word, like rapist.
Oh, that's like- no,
rapist
that's
is
like
just
worse
a
than retard.
rapist is just a term
Rape
for
What about
a
a
horrible thing.
what
but
about a
it's like,
retarded rapist?
That's,
How do you prosecute that?
down and grind
I'm gonna have to ask you to drop your pants.
That's the way you like it, right, you dumb whore? I'm gonna fuck you, Philip.
I don't know, that doesn't sound like a retarded rapist. That sounds like a
Yo,
Long Island rapist.
I'm just saying.
Man.
I'm just saying equality goes all around, and Kieran
Yeah.
could be a rapist too.
I think there can be.
Can he?
He
Kieran's not
could. His dick
retarded,
works,
though.
I think.
Yeah, but how
That's the
can
sad
he?
part.
You cannot.
That's the sad part. No.
I don't know if it. I don't want to drag Kieran under the bus.
No,
He's not
Kieran's-
retarded
Kieran-
anyway.
Kieran isn't retarded.
Yeah,
No.
Kieran's not retarded.
Kieran's
That's
really
what-
smart guy.
That's why I
He's
talk
actually-
about.
I miss
Really
Kieran.
smart,
I
yeah.
actually miss
Me
him
and
a
Kieran
lot.
talk
It's
on
been
the
a while.
regular.
Kieran's
Like,
a
Kieran and I are
smart dude,
friends.
man.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen. I can imagine he's probably somewhat of a high risk
I talk
for
about.
the virus. I mean,
I joke about Kieran like that because unfortunately, like, I know, like, I don't present it now, but that chair is gonna be like powered one day, and that's gonna suck.
Really?
Yeah, he's just got like polio but faster.
well, I mean, he has MS, doesn't he?
I don't know, it's something like that. Lou Gehrig's or some other not polio one.
Yeah, I mean, his.
I know polio and
I know he
retardation.
didn't. He wasn't he wasn't
That's
born
all.
like that. Like
No, he caught it.
He lived
caught
like
a
a
bug.
he lived like a he lived a life basically just walking around and then.
I wonder what's worse because I got polio at like 4 months old, and I do wonder this. I'm like, I wonder if I like what it would have been like to like have legs for just a little bit.
I mean, you wonder
Right.
because it's like you would miss it, but then it's like
I
if
feel
you
like I'd
never
be one
had
of
it,
those,
it
like-
depends. Like,
One of those
I'd rather
disabled
never
who write a
have it
book.
because I don't want to
Yeah.
miss something.
yeah, because if you never have it, you can just kind of perfectly adapt to
Yeah,
not
like,
having it.
I try to explain.
I don't want to.
No, well, I
Like,
try
Dana,
to.
can't you just adapt?
Well, I try to explain it as like for me, it's like being in a normal person in a world that's entirely populated with superheroes who have like super strength and can reach things and can walk straight without falling.
Is that,
Like,
is that
that's
really,
like that's how I explain it. That's how it is for me.
I
It's like,
mean,
oh,
that's-
everybody else is super strength with my weak
I'm just
little.
thinking of like Superman in a wheelchair.
Like if I were to put you in a full Nelson, it would feel like a Snuggie. Like it would. I'm like a perfectly cooked
It's
pasta
like
noodle.
you just put someone in a full Nelson. Someone's just like, this is nice.
This
kinda
is just
nice.
the right amount of pressure for me to be comfortable. It's like I'm like a thunder jacket.
I mean,
For
that's an
dogs.
interesting way to
With
put it.
anxiety.
Honestly,
I
That's-
never thought of it like that. I don't know.
And there
I think
you
the
go.
hardest part, I think the best thing about probably about being paralyzed would be like you don't have to jack off every 2 hours.
But your balls are gonna full of cum and you still have those feelings
Yeah, you
because
just
you're
get
not
that hard
retarded,
blue
Jack.
balls.
You're not retarded. You consciously know that you can't jack off, and you still think that girl's hot, Jack.
It happens
But
by
you can't
itself.
jack off.
Sounds a lot like
You have to
Jack
ask
now.
your
Happens by
aide
itself.
to jack you off.
Frank
Sounds
says it
exactly
happens
like
by
Jack's
itself.
current life.
Yep. That you have to
Sounds like
like.
Jack's life every day before he was 19.
Can I want to know like how does Kieran get butt? Like before it was medical,
How does
like
he get
because he was
butt?
smoking. I asked him that. I was like, yo, Kieran,
He's
and
asked
he was like,
Renee for
and
it.
he was like, I definitely am just like you, Dana. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot.
I don't know.
I
mean,
often forget physically disabled is not.
Everybody
also
has a guy.
retarded.
Everybody
Has a guy, and there's always a dude who.
But
will
like
do
once
it. Like,
he can't,
you know,
once like I wonder who's gonna go fetch my weed. Like who? If Paris
I feel
Hilton
like
didn't
one
want
out-
anyone
well,
to know
think
she's
about it.
buying
If you're a
coke,
weed
so who's
dealer,
she
you
buying
might be
coke
the
for?
type. You might be the type of weed dealer who's like, I'll drive it to
That's
this
how-
dude. Like,
yeah.
it's a guaranteed like 20
A nice
bucks or
guy,
whatever. Like,
yeah, like
you
a
know,
nice-
like,
I can get you some
I
good
know
weed.
he needs.
I know
it.
a guy.
Like, plus, it's like, yeah, it probably adds a sense of morality to
Like
being
I'm doing a
drug
good
dealer.
thing.
Like,
I'm doing a good thing for this.
I know
guy.
it's
yeah, like,
pure.
I'm doing him a
Helping
favor.
him out.
I know,
He can
and,
use it. Yeah.
and I'll just take a bag off the top.
You know, I
Make
feel
it
like 1 out of 7 people in America sells weed. I don't know.
Probably.
You know,
I
I mean,
Very
one out of 7
Yeah,
people
a lot
in
of
America
people
have at least
grow.
sold weed to somebody. Because I
I
don't
think-
sell weed. I'm not a drug dealer, but I've had weed and people have been like, "Can I buy weed like from you since you haven't?" And I've been like,
That's
"Well,
exactly.
yeah, like I
that
have."
happened last week.
Yeah, right. It's
I
like,
messaged Tom, I'm like, yo, you got like a nug I can buy off you?
and I was just and I,
He was
it's like
yeah.
that's the thing is
Yeah,
it's
if
like
you
it's
have it,
a lot. I feel like a lot of people have at least sold weed once, but I don't know if that many people are like dealers because dealing is
Right.
like
It's
a
a
little
whole
more
thing.
complicated than people give it credit for. Like you actually, if you want to really make money, you have to start pushing big weight. If you just
Right.
want to like smoke for free,
Right.
you basically just have to shuffle the same $200 around.
I don't
forever.
understand
Like,
that.
And
that's
it's like
essentially-
I feel like
Yeah,
being
right.
I would not want to be a pot dealer because you have to
Pot
answer your
dealer.
you have to answer your phone all the time and be like you have to constantly be like
Yeah.
all right come over. You
I don't
it's
have-
just like
It's a lot
Yeah,
of
like
like-
imagine like you get up and like you get up in the morning and like
Can't make
5
your own
people
hours.
hit you up before they go to work at like 6 a.m. Like there's literally just 5 messages like, yo, you good? Like, yo, can I get an eighth? Like, you good? Like right now maybe? Like, and you're just like, dude, like
Fiending.
I haven't even had coffee and there's
Yeah.
5 motherfuckers trying to get like a quick cop.
No,
Like,
especially when people
Yeah, no,
deliver,
that's
because I've had shout out to all my blood men departed who have delivered to me. R.I.P. Maurice.
R.I.P. Maurice.
R.I.P. Maurice.
wow.
Yo, man,
Oh,
we love
so-
you.
Yo,
He's
no, he.
selling
Oh,
it?
it was fucking beautiful. It was a
It was good.
beautiful setup. First of all, Maurice is the kindest gentleman I've ever met. He
And a
pulled the
fan
car
of
around
ours.
me.
Yeah,
He
Maurice
pulled
a
the
fan of
And
ours.
he's
Shout
got a
out
really
Maurice.
huge
Shout out
cock,
Maurice.
I've heard.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
his
yeah.
penis is giant.
Yo,
Thank
he
you for
pulled-
listening to the podcast.
He told me he supports disabled rights, and he hit on me as hard as he can. And shout out to Maurice for still delivering weed to my house.
All
And I
right.
did not.
Good
And-
man. Also, shout out to Maurice for beating me in a roast battle.
Fairly.
I still think I had you though, man. We gotta get a fucking rematch. but anyway,
But yeah, so
yeah.
I
The
need a new
weird
weed
thing
bag,
is
what I'm
like
saying.
dealing is. I don't know if a lot of people really deal, but plenty of people have sold it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
middleman it.
A lot of
Yeah.
people deal like you could.
I
Some
remember
people
the
used
first
to
time I
do.
did that, and it
Some
was
people
so,
used to
like,
push. Yeah, people used to be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I don't feel like push." It's like,
Right.
all right, can I get weed from you or not? Like,
All right,
okay.
Pablo
like,
Escobar,
yeah,
can you
right.
fucking just give me a
It's like, all right.
pot?
It's like, all right, Mr. White, like you want to.
Dude, but everybody knows a guy. Like
Right.
if
Yeah.
you ask like most people are gonna be like, oh, I know somebody. Like I don't need even if they don't sell, it'll be like, I can hit this guy up. I know
Right.
he sells pot. Like so, there's a lot of people that sell pot.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, also some people just have a bunch of weed. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, if that's like me, like, if you're one of those stoners who just, you always have bad weed on you, like, if your buddy really needs a bag, like, you have enough. Like, you could give it to him and, you know, just get, you know, and obviously you don't want to give it away for free, so you ask for money. And it's like, you know, but, like, he's your friend. So, like, you know, like, Dana, like, if it's like you, like, I get it, like, let's just say in a hypothetical scenario that I gave you weeds at one time, like, if we did, like, you know, since you're my friend, like, you give me $20, I'll give you a slightly better bag. Like, if you're a dealer, like, you're constantly thinking, like, all right, like, this guy only counts for me ever so often.
Right.
I don't want to hook him up as much because I really don't get a lot of money off him. This guy counts for me, like,
really
every week. Like,
let me hook
it's
thought
like,
about this a lot.
it's like, I seem to have this down. Like, it's like, if you look at the spreadsheet I created.
I've got an Excel sheet.
Your knees are getting
up.
weak and you can't keep
I mean,
doing
it's
it.
an interesting because it's all just sales. Like, you know, I mean, I'm in customer service, so I understand sales at least. But it's not, I mean, obviously it's not the same.
We also understand supply and demand, which is basically the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, this guy wants a lot, so I'm going to be, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to be more generous. Like, I'll give him better deals because I know he'll keep buying. This guy doesn't buy at all, so, like...
Although maybe he will buy more if you start giving better deals to the guy. You know, that's the thing, too.
Like, yeah, I wonder...
It's like any sort of business transaction. Like, if you want somebody on your podcast bad enough, you'll drive out to the HUD housing.
Exactly. Honestly, like, we just have the most free-form podcast.
I love this. This is fucking
like,
great.
yeah.
Can I just say, like, I love... Thank you guys for having me,
Of course,
too.
it's great. It's great to have you. But
This is great. I love abortion.
I love like seeing
Get
people's
canceled.
podcast clips on like Instagram, and it's like them in like a little room, and they have like their little mic thingy, and they're like, it's like, bro, like we get it. We have a better show with one mic. Like,
Yeah, exactly. We don't need, like, fancy equipment.
We don't need...
I mean, eventually that we
Video
will.
killed the
Eventually, we
radio
will have
star.
2 mics, but it's like it just has to work, man. Like,
We
that's all I care about.
have a mic and marijuana and alcohol and 2 $5.
I have a Colt 45.
I don't know what money this is.
I'm sitting.
I was constantly wondering, like, what is this? Who's this, and why is it here?
That was my change from my hypothetical
Yeah,
transaction.
Wow.
It's rhetorical. Either way, I'm sitting here with a Colt
Fucking
45.
retarded.
We don't
I
need
thought it
a
was here the
sound.
entire time. I was like,
Yeah, right?
maybe I am high. I don't
He
fucking know
thought
what's going on.
Yeah, Jack, you might be getting contact. All right, if you're gonna smoke weed for the rest of if you're gonna hypothetically smoke weed for the rest of the show, just blow it in Jack's face.
Okay.
Anyway,
Get high.
Yo, not that I get high in New York State public housing. Right
so
now.
guys,
I
let's
don't
do some
that.
pod topics.
Pot
topics.
Pot
Just
topics.
getting
Fucking
dug
like
with high
Doug
for the rest of the show.
You know that comedian?
You ever seen
Doug
Getting Dug?
Benson?
Oh.
I don't know.
He's
if I
basically
do.
like it's funny because he has this podcast where when I describe it to you, it's gonna sound like a great show, but it's bad.
I love it.
It's-
Yes, continue.
She's like, I love it already.
Sold.
Go on. Like,
I'm in.
but no, it's basically this show. His name's Doug Benson. It's called Getting Dug with High, and it's just a podcast where he gets high with famous comedians or like mid-level famous comedians, and like that sounds like it'd be a great show,
Oh, yeah.
Sounds
but
like
it's
Tim
awful
Dillon wrote-
because he's awful and he's
Yeah.
just a terrible
Well, it's
fucking
also
host.
just like they're just trying to. The entire thing is, okay. So I got this guy on the show, right? So it's like normally if we're getting high, we'll just like chat and shoot banter.
Yeah.
But he makes the whole podcast about marijuana.
yeah, like
So
he'll
it's like,
ask them
hey.
like pot questions.
So like,
or,
when was the
yeah.
first time you got high? It's like, shut up.
It's like, dude, I don't want to
Yeah.
talk about like some shit ass memory from when I was 15. Like,
Let me tell my vape story.
like, you know, did you know that I'm on a TV show? Like, you want to
This
ask
is
me about
not-
that?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, right.
This
I
is
think
not
that's
that
cool as
interesting.
fuck, by the way.
what?
The TV show shit. How you guys getting hooked up on TV shows?
Well, I mean,
I've only done one music.
I'm just
video.
not. I'm not hooked up on a
What
TV
am I-
show.
what am I
Let me be
hooked
very
up on a
clear.
TV show?
Let me be very clear. I'm not hooked up on a show. Me and a couple of dudes are
Or
making a
that-
pilot.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's cool as fuck.
No, yeah, thank you.
I don't know
mean,
how this.
but
I
it's
don't know how
nothing more than
verbalize
like
shit.
it's nothing more than what we're doing here. Like this is
Yeah,
4
this
people
is
making a podcast. That's 4 people trying to make a show. Like,
Right.
It's the same thing.
But it also incorporates a little more creativity because you have to script it before.
No, yeah, we actually have like
we're just free
we have almost like 4 full episodes written at this point.
Really?
That's cool.
Yeah,
as fuck.
we're gonna start trying to pitch this, and I may have a part for you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yo, if you guys need to
Alright.
up that handicap
I'm very
ratio on your
excited.
cast,
Honestly, though, Not gonna lie, B.
I would love, like, if anybody's, I want to do, like,
up the
behind
handicap
the
ratio
scenes.
on the show.
Yo, I'm
You
just
don't want to
saying.
get typecasted though as the
I
handicap.
am the handicap.
I mean,
that
I
is my
don't-
marketable skill that Mike
What do
Nicola
you
told
mean?
me I
You
have.
realize, Jack, you realize how much money Dana would make if she got typecasted?
Yeah,
She would have a
sure.
fucking. You would have a career.
It's like,
You would have a
remember that
fucking
guy-
career. You
It's like,
$1,000.
remember that guy from
I
Bad
would love it.
Santa who played like the midget, the black midget?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He got
black
every role as a black midget in any
How many
movie
fucking black
for
midgets
like
do you
10
know,
years.
Jack?
It's like that dude got that fucking shit down. That could
Yeah, he got it down.
You know what I mean? He got
mastered-
the black. He mastered the black midget.
I can-
market.
I
If there
could
was a
be that
study of,
midget.
if there was a study of like black midgetry, he's the grand professor.
Dude, he monopolized the black midget role.
Who was
And
that
I
white midget who was on Austin Powers and also
Vern Troyer.
Vern Troyer pissing out of his fucking wheelchair drunk on the Surreal Life VH1 is
I
my
feel bad
favorite
for
video
Vern
of all
Troyer,
time.
'cause that's a
He
sad
drank himself
story.
to death, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
But he was
sad
funny as
story.
fuck. Little guy. Little tyke.
I like
Yeah.
Vern Troyer, but that's a sad fucking story. Anyway, yeah, you should
What?
you go for the show, you know, be an actor.
I'ma do it. Only if it's animated. I really don't want people like looking at me move my limbs. Like,
But I
that's
mean,
why
if we animate your
I hate
character,
stand up.
I mean, come on, we're gonna have to give your character polio.
Yes. No, it has to have like. And to be clear, like I don't know if you guys have have you watched F is for Family? Anybody?
Oh, I love that
Yeah,
show.
it's
So,
Great
and
show.
do you guys notice that the only time he mentions disability, and a lot of comedians do it because not a lot of people have polio anymore, but everybody knows about polio, so they always, and I'm the only one who's just like, oh my god, my feelings hurt a little bit. Ugh,
Oh, yeah, you're
no,
just-
that's a zinger.
You're like,
Bill.
wait a minute, I'm a fan.
This is amazing.
Should I?
You're also
call-
kind of like happy because this is amazing. I've never been
Exactly. That's exactly.
You're like, wait, I've never been suspended for my specific condition.
Yes, it's really, and like a few have done it, and I'm sorry, I'm yelling because I'm excited because I also have autism and I'm a little retarded, so when I get excited, I yell.
So wait, you have autism and a little retarded. We're specifying that those are different things. Good.
I have to say,
Retarded is
that-
not the same as autism. See,
Yep.
see,
No,
see?
no, yeah.
A podcast progressive.
Autism.
Dana's
Frankie
autistic.
is-
Autism has broke the glass ceiling.
Frankie's sitting there with his fingers
What's
in
wrong,
his
Frankie?
temples.
You
Yo.
judging us?
Open
Dude,
up.
you guys.
Are you not having a good time?
I am having a good time.
All right.
you
All right.
You can say something if you're sitting on
You seem
something.
like you're agitated. That's all I'm asking. Man.
Frankie's.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, ask me a direct question.
Did the R words get to you? Were there too many?
No.
Yeah, I think you. Had
I
one
think
too
there
many
needed to be
retards.
more.
They needed
Frankie?
more R words.
We need more retards
came
in the
up
world.
short.
Rhinoceros,
We're not less than
Rhinoceros.
breed.
Rabid.
robot,
Rabbit.
A rabid
Recession,
retard.
Recess.
I like
rapid.
rabbit.
Yo, a rabid retard would be fun.
A rabid
A
retard.
rabbit.
Yo,
Rabid
just a
retard.
rabid
Rabtard.
retarded zombies. Why is that not a thing? Where George Romero was
Also,
not
really-
woke.
I was about to co-sign Frankie
How
here.
slow can you be?
All zombies are basically retarded.
Oh, okay.
Even the fast ones.
Yeah,
They're-
even
well,
the
they're
fast
brain
ones
dead,
are pretty much retarded. Like,
First of all, though, there's a difference between infection movies, which are the fast ones, and zombie movies, which are the slow ones.
oh, they're zombies.
And
Come
I-
on.
but no.
Zombies are
I've heard
fast.
that argument
this
before. It's
rage
zombies.
No, that's like saying
What
I'm
about
the same as Downs.
zombies?
No, what about
You
Game
mean
of
That's
to-
not fair.
Thrones?
you
You're
mean to-
generalizing
You
zombies
mean to tell
in a
me
way
that?
that disabled people.
Do you mean
Yeah.
to tell me that 28 Days Later is not a zombie movie?
Correct.
It's a fucking
It is
zombie movie.
It is not a fucking
is a
It's a
zombie.
zombie movie.
No, it's a
Come
zombie.
No, it's not.
on.
It's an infection
It's
movie.
Hold on
one of
now.
the greatest
Hold on
zombie
now.
movies
It's
of
a
all time,
hate-
in fact.
But Game of Thrones had the White Walkers and they were zombies and they were fast. Boom.
Boom! That case
Argument
closed.
destroyed.
That's fucking
All right,
fake,
what
though.
do you think, Frankie?
About White Walkers? I mean...
No, just
No,
about
about
zombies in general.
retarded zombies.
All right,
Not about retarded
I think
zombies.
that Tom is right in that we could consider 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later, for that matter, a zombie movie.
You just want to be
Even
against
though,
me.
by definition, Dana, you're defining zombie as an undead. Specifically.
Correct. That is what a zombie is. And
Okay, well, a lot of people, according to Tom and
stupid.
me and
Like me.
perhaps others,
Jack.
also Jack,
I
a
forgot
zombie
that.
could include an
That one.
infectious disease that infects the brain. I mean,
So
that's more
polio.
plausible.
So I am a zombie because I have an infectious
Well, no,
disease that
because-
affected my brainstem.
But you
So I'm a
don't.
zombie.
But you
Fuck
don't.
you guys.
But you don't want to eat anything.
What?
You don't want to eat brains.
I don't want to eat anything.
I mean, if you were trying to consume Jack, I might be like, all right, Dana's probably.
You can't be chubby and.
If you were literally eating Jack's flesh and like ripping his organs out with your bare hands, I would be like, yeah, the polio counts as a zombie.
Wait, so rabies though is a real thing? That's what that did.
I would argue rabies is the I would literally argue rabies is the closest thing to a real life.
What you were saying though is rabies is the zombies.
It's the closest thing to.
Why? What makes that different from the
Because if I shoot a guy who has a rabies,
you go to jail.
No, but if I shoot a guy, yes. But here's the thing. That's the thing. If I shoot a guy who has rabies, he's dead. But if I shoot a zombie and 28 days later, they get up.
Yeah.
That's the thing that makes them zombies is that they're not dead when you shoot them.
Fiddy got shot 9 times.
Here's the thing.
Supernatural
I respect your definition of a zombie, and I see why you have it.
I don't.
But you
just when I'm
disagree
about to make a
respectfully.
point. Here's why I disagree. Because to me, what defines a zombie isn't just undead. It's a
There's a definition.
It's undead, yes, but it's also just the fact that these humans, like, they're no longer what they are, and their bodies are moving, and their minds are no longer there. They're ravenous. They want to eat and or kill you, and they can only die if you shoot them in the brain or remove their head. To me, that's the main thing about a zombie is the way you kill it is you shoot its brain or remove its head. Like that, to me, that's always been the key. With the exception of the movie Return of the Living Dead, where those zombies their arms moved.
You can't loop, but then you can't.
What about the
George
Evil
Romero
Dead though?
Into
Evil
that.
Dead aren't zombies though because they
I would agree they're not. Yeah.
Evil Dead is not zombies because even when you destroy their limbs.
Jamie pulled up the definition of zombie.
Evil Dead is different. Those are literally not defined as zombies in the movie.
Yes, they are.
No, they're called.
They're not zombies because
why are you yelling at me?
Because even when you remove their limbs, they still
they're literally called. They're called a different thing in that movie.
Yeah, they're called Deadites.
Yeah, they're the Deadites.
Oh, okay.
Those are like demons.
The living.
But anyway, Jamie, our Jamie did pull up an article. Zombie.
I said, hey, dude.
I was thinking George Romero, like an ass.
Listen, if Jamie's gonna pull the article up, we gotta read it.
Okay, thank you, Jamie.
A zombie, Haitian, apparently it's a Haitian French word, is a mythological undead corporeal revenant creature created through the reanimation of a corpse. So, but that can include infection. Like if an infection kills you, because the thing about 28 days later is they died from the sickness and then became zombies.
It's a zombie genre, sub-genre.
It's a different type of. It's like a different species. No,
laymen say zombies.
It's a different species of zombie.
It's a different
species of zombie.
There's a human race, and then there's black, and there's white, and there's Asian.
Because have you ever seen the movie? Have you ever seen the movie?
Asians can't be zombies.
This is an interesting movie. Have you guys ever seen the movie The Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I think I have actually.
All right, basically it's an old movie where it's actually funny. It's about a global pandemic that basically happens, and it turns the entire planet of people into zombies. And the only one who survives is the one guy played by Vincent Price, who just happens to be immune to it. Like, he's just immune. He doesn't know how he's immune, but he is. So he becomes the last man on Earth, and everyone else is just a zombie.
So he's...
And, like, the thing is, it's like, to me, that's the most borderline where you could say, like, maybe it's not the same as real zombies.
That's the plot.
Because in that movie, they're not, like, by definition, like, if he kills them, they die type of thing. But it's almost like zombies because they behave in the same way. Like, they're still like, and, like, they're still all bloody and gross. I think it's, like, it really depends on what you're watching.
Well, I think, I consider zombies, like, in terms of their behavior, like Tom said, where they just sort of go like, you know.
And it's also just the fact that you
okay.
can't kill them just by shooting. Like, if I shoot it in the chest, it's gonna keep coming at me. Like, that's the idea, I think, of a zombie.
Although some zombies...
Did you guys see Dawn of the Dead?
I love Dawn of the Dead.
The original or the remake? I like the remake better, but I've seen them both.
No, what are you talking about? The original is one of the better.
I know.
The original's better, but the remake is really good. It's one of the better horror remakes.
Zack Snyder's movie. Yeah, I like it. It was good.
It's definitely one of the better horror remakes. I'll give it to. I did not like.
The only thing they changed was that they made the zombies fast and they put a black person having a baby fucking fetus zombie hybrid. You guys don't remember the fucking zombie baby? Fuck you guys.
You can't forget the
zombie. Fuck you guys.
Vin Rames.
I don't care. They ate it.
You know what? zombie movie I didn't care for that. I think a lot of people dick ride because Robert Rodriguez directed it, but I didn't really love it that much. I didn't really care that much for Planet Terror. I thought it was kind of underwhelming.
I agree.
I actually liked it.
I also have a Shudder
because it
account.
was actually released as part of this movie called Grindhouse, which was a double movie.
Death Proof.
Yeah, directed by Tarantino and Rodriguez.
Right.
And I actually thought Death Proof was a lot more entertaining than Planet Terror. Planet Terror is kind of
Well, Death Proof was
more.
like it was an homage to like the 1970s, very like
like the
simple-
exploitation,
the
like
exploitation,
killer movies.
because he
like,
he drove like a killer car.
Yeah.
And he was the
Chris-
stuntman.
like Chris-
Kurt Russell was.
Yeah.
that movie might have probably my favorite car chase ever. Like that last car chase is pretty awesome. Not gonna lie.
My favorite car chase is in the original The Italian Job with Michael Caine, to be a little cinema snob.
Okay. What about if to be even more cinema snob? What about Bullet with Steve McQueen?
Ooh,
That's a good
true,
fucking
too.
car chase.
That's true.
How about
also.
The Matrix Reloaded?
Ooh,
I
alright.
Dude,
Good
I
call.
love the
Christine.
Matrix sequel. The Matrix sequels are great movies, and they don't get enough credit.
Why are you yelling?
I'm
The
passionate.
Matrix sequels are great fucking movies.
We were
Because-
watching them the other
Because
day.
people like to
I
shit
fell
on them,
asleep.
and I think The Matrix Reloaded is a great movie.
It is.
Yeah,
No, it's
we have to
good.
go
It's
deeper.
complex, but it's
And
great.
I even like The Matrix Revolutions too.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
speaks.
I didn't watch after that. I watched The Matrix Reloaded and the
Sad
Matrix.
to hear.
It's hard to go, and only the kids who wore tails and capes went to see the third in theaters, Frankie, and were you one of those kids? You guys all know who
Well,
I'm
yeah,
talking
the
about.
Wachowski
Everyone in
got
their
me.
grade had a kid who wore a cape or a tail to
You're talking
their
about Steve
school.
Rocco
Oh.
Perillo.
Yeah, it was Steve.
Yeah.
Look, everybody in there had a Steve Perillo in their high school.
Yeah, everybody did.
Sorry, Steve Rocco Perillo.
No, they were like a cool person, but they like have you guys seen
Like-
that? No, fuck.
I had one kid in my
There's
school.
a movie about LARPing, and I'm trying to reference it.
I had one
forget
kid
it.
in my school who wore a cowboy hat all
Funny.
the time.
Yeah,
But
like
not a
that
cape.
kid. Leave Raoul alone. But that's comedy.
I had one kid, and I felt bad for this kid because I think he was depressed. He had like
Yeah.
hair over his face, and they called him Triangle Kid.
Everybody's
Triangle
everyone has
kid.
one.
Because you could only see like a triangle of his face.
Yeah,
Because he had this
Samara.
long hair.
Samara.
And they were
Ouch.
mean to this kid.
Yeah.
He was a transgender.
Oh,
but this
good.
was back in the
Before
day.
it
This
was
is
nifty.
back in the day.
This was when I was
Ooh.
this was back in like 2010, 2011.
Oh, God.
People were dicks.
Not woke.
I mean, people are still
back
dicks.
then. Well, I mean, back then people were just like, "What are you even talking about, bro? Like, you're not a chick.
Yeah, no.
Fuck you."
I mean, like people are still dicks today, but back then it was like
back then
much
everybody
more-
was
yeah.
like, "What?" Like, back then nobody.
Oh yeah, it was
understood
very much less acceptable then than it was. That's why I feel like if you're like
It's funny,
a
it hasn't
transgender-
even been that long. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's only like 90. That's why I feel like if you're like a transgender today and you're complaining to like a transgender who did that shit in high school, they'd be like, "Shut the fuck up." Like,
People who have transgender, I notice. People who are transgender, I notice talk about being transgender just as much as I talk about polio, which is like annoying to people, and so I'm putting it out there. I've noticed it.
It's probably for the
Are
same
you saying
reason.
you're annoying?
I'm saying I noticed it. I noticed it. I point it out because I want to
I'm
make
only
fun of
kidding.
myself.
No.
And I
well,
love
I think you consider
folks
it like
everywhere.
it's it's something you have to deal with every
Yeah.
day, and so it's
That's something they
It's
have
part
to.
of your
That's
life,
their
and
struggle.
so,
Everybody has a struggle, and that's
Well, I
them.
mean,
and
yeah,
this
it's
is
like
me.
this, like when you're going on stage, like I know you don't only joke about polio,
I
but you
do
probably
only
want to.
joke about polio. I don't have anything else.
Nah, you've joked about other
I tried,
things.
but I failed.
I remember you had one joke
hurt
where you were
people's
talking
feelings.
about like a race, and you were like, "I'm not saying race matters,
That
but
was
in
when
a
I was-
race
I was
matters."
talking
And I
about
thought
when
that
I
was great,
raced
yeah.
in the Special Olympics.
Oh yeah, that did. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
polio. That was polio.
Yeah, but I can tell jokes within the polio, like jokes, kind of like zombies
within
have
the
infection.
polio.
It's like
That
the
should be the
polio
name of
reloaded.
That should be the name of Dana's first stand-up
within the
album.
polio.
Within the polio.
But I know what you mean. I
Dana
know, yeah.
McAllister.
I know what you mean. Transgender. They talk a lot about being trans, but it's also like
You talk a lot
there's
about.
not.
Well,
as
I think
many-
with trans people, it's brand new that people are even like accepting
it,
that
yeah.
it's a thing, and
No
they're
one
like,
talks about me.
Well, they're very
well,
self-conscious
because
about
Dana,
it.
like,
You know.
I really don't
I'm
know how
fucking
to.
with you guys.
Well, of course, and it's also just
And
because
it's because everyone's you don't know how to, so
it's also
that's why
because
you
you're
talk
like,
about
and
it.
this is the thing is like it obviously this is not like do not take this the wrong way.
Mm-mm.
Your disease is fucking extinct.
I know. Well, no, I
But
don't.
that's the thing is polio is extinct. So when it's like there's
Right.
even though there's not a lot of trans people, there's more.
But there's a lot of people who have cerebral palsy, which is like basically the same thing as polio. And like everyone forgets, like in the 50s, there was a
You're
whole.
like a relic from another generation.
I'm just trying to.
Yeah, right.
No,
You're
I
a throwback.
try to just like like I'm the grandmother. Like I feel like the meme where like the fucking gorilla in the zoo is talking to like it's like I feel like I'm bombing at Ziggy's right now. But yeah,
oh my god, you want to just do 5 minutes?
No.
Can you imagine if we just ended this podcast letting Dana
5-minute
do
mic.
5 minutes? Alright, ladies and gentlemen,
None
please
of my friends
welcome.
and family. Frankie won't come. Frankie dislikes coming
You remember
to see
when we
me
used to
'cause
have
it's so
that
cringe.
mic every Thursday, and whenever Dana would come on the mic, like you would freak out most of the time.
You guys had these fucking stairs.
I know that was hard.
And I
for you.
went but I was committed.
You were.
Yeah, you're like, I went
Comedy,
through
yeah,
this.
I went and I complained every time.
You
God
did it.
damn
You
it.
did it every
You
week.
did it. You did. You God damn it, you did it.
You guys needed a ratio. I had to keep you guys woke, and
Yeah.
I did wake up.
You were like one of the only
America,
women
we're
we had
crawling
there.
after
You were.
you.
We had Bonnie.
That was a great mic. Remember what was that? The
was the
new
best
Vibe
mics.
Lounge. That was
It
the
was
new
the worst.
Vibe
That
Lounge
was a great.
Yes.
The new Vibe
with
Lounge.
Manny and the
Knoxville
clean
Center.
cut comedy days.
The clean cut comedy thing.
Aw.
Yeah, that was where.
Good times.
Old times, yeah.
That was.
Classic. It was a simpler time pre-COVID.
I miss.
2019.
I miss like.
Hardly knew you.
I miss self-isolating for a reason. Like now, everybody's copying what I was doing.
So I wish being the only one who didn't
Yeah.
go out. Now
Now
nobody
everyone's
goes out.
I was quarantined before
They're
everybody else was.
appropriating your culture.
Yeah, well, I actually was quarantined for like the first like year because polio is very infectious. So babies
true.
who don't get vaccinated.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Oh, I don't still have it. I'm like my body is
You were
like my body is like the battlegrounds, like a civil war.
You were infectious
Like-
before it was
Like,
cool.
I-
So wait, that's how it works. Like you.
Yeah, like the
You got
virus like
polio,
went through. I died,
lived.
and then I re-emerged as a zombie.
So you died.
Yeah, I'm
You
joking.
died. Oh, so you are a zombie.
You're the
Yeah.
undead.
I'm
That's
the-
why you're so in favor.
Oh.
No, I'm just saying. So, like, yeah, so that's how it works. So, polio,
So
I
you
got polio. I caught it. I had it, went through it. I almost died twice. They read my last
Well, I mean,
rites
that's
to me
pretty
twice.
cool that I know a zombie.
Yeah.
Yo.
I survived.
Zombie on the
That's
podcast.
That's something you can tell like a little kid who's not gonna get it. Just be like, I know a real zombie. It's like, no, you don't. It's like, I do.
But yeah, talk
Yeah,
about
it's just your
chopping off
friend
my
with
head one
polio.
time.
And you, when you
Yeah.
bring your
I'm
zombie friend, like, this is a real zombie. Like, wait a second, you're a zombie?
Yeah, they're like, oh my god, and then they
Yeah.
I just influence my kids in the wrong way, and they think people with disabilities are all zombies.
They are.
So they
though.
think disabled parking is just zombie parking.
It's zombie.
Yo,
park.
can I just ask a
Instead
question?
of like the handicap thing, it's just like a dude like.
What
with
do you
his
guys
arms.
think of the new handicap sticker where it looks like we're falling out of our wheelchair instead of just
Wait,
sitting
what?
straight up?
What?
You guys haven't seen it?
Jamie, can you pull that article up?
Jamie, pull up the
Here
new.
you go,
No,
Jamie.
yeah, they definitely did,
Thank
and
you,
it
Jamie.
definitely doesn't do. Like they're
Is
trying
there
to make
somebody
us
pushing-
inclusive, like we're going
is there somebody
fast or
pushing
something.
them out of the wheelchair?
No,
Like, I don't
no,
know.
you'll see. Like so, just
I
it's
need to
fucking,
see
it's
this.
terrific. Yeah, so it looks like I just
Oh
fucking.
yeah.
I'm glad they're trying to be like woke and
It looks
shit.
kind of like you're racing on
Yeah,
a
it looks like
wheelchair.
you're.
That's what they
looks
want
like
it to
you're in a
look
hurry.
like, right?
Yeah.
That's what they
looks
wanted.
like, it looks like you're in a hurry.
They
It
just
looks
made
like,
it more
I gotta get there.
accurate.
I gotta get the
I gotta
fucking.
get the fuck
I gotta
It
get
looks
out
like-
of this car and into the park.
It looks like I'm like really. Oh
It
my
This
honestly-
person really needs to park.
It
here.
actually looks
It's
more
deep
like
easier,
chubby
okay.
again. You know what? It
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
less like you're even in a wheelchair. It just looks like this dude
looks
has
like-
an inhumanly giant ass.
Yeah.
And he just
It
can't
looks
stand
like-
up.
it looks-
Yeah.
I
Randy
got the
Marsh.
badonka
That's, yeah,
dog.
the balls from South Park. It's like the nutsack
Yeah.
from South
So,
Park.
so yeah, so that's what my people have to deal with, guys. I'm glad like Black Lives Matter too, but
Big-
like
big
so
asses
do
matter.
so do.
CLM,
Can we fix it? Where are
Purple Lives
where are the
Matter.
protests for this fucking
CLM.
sign?
Yo, I heard CLM shot a cop last week.
You got. They should have a counter protest against Black Lives Matter,
Yes,
disabled
CLM.
lives matter,
Yo!
crippled lives.
Cripple lives
like,
matter.
Fuck you, we're better. man.
Fuck you, we're crippled.
in like the 70s apparently, and I don't know this, and it is very funny, and I expect you guys fully to laugh because I'm gonna laugh. But like a bunch of us threw ourselves onto the steps of Congress out of our wheelchairs, and that's
Oh
how
yeah, I
they-
watched a movie
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, remember
Crip
that-
Camp it was called.
Oh my
That's
God.
that's a real thing that my mom wanted to send me to, and I drew the line.
Yeah, it was a
That's
real.
a
it
place.
was
That's a
real,
documentary.
Wow.
And I,
No,
there's
it
like a
wasn't-
handicap
this was like a-
community.
There's
Your
like
mom
a-
wanted to send you there?
Yeah, I chose to be mainstream, but there's like a whole like
Camp
I
was
could have
only around
blended.
70s, though.
I could have blended in.
I could have
Stand
figured
it
it.
out. I could have pretended.
Trip camp?
Trip
I
camp. No, it was only around the 70s. It was like a summer camp for disabled kids.
Sometimes I pretend to be retarded
And
when I
they,
sit in my
you know,
wheelchair.
they
I'm not
went
gonna
and they
lie.
were like,
And they were just like, dude!
essentially.
Just around the camp.
and there's like a bunch of like.
That's what it
Let's
is.
be careful not to get back into this wormhole,
Yeah.
please.
I love it.
The rabbit
I
hole.
love
of
it.
The
making
rabbit
fun
hole
of
of making-
retarded
Should we
People
send
disable.
disabled to camp?
It's like the
That's
Matrix
that's
for
what Jack
assholes.
is asking.
The Matrix for really shitty human beings.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you guys traveled to see the shittiest.
Frankie is just staring so hard at this candle.
Yo,
It's
he
a
really
nice
misses
candle.
the
Well,
one.
there's 3 wicks, and it looks like one of them might be on, but I can't tell if it's just my vision being blurry.
Oh shit, I almost dropped my bowl.
Yo, I remember when you broke
Alright,
your bowl
I'm
at
just gonna
Cousin
light
Craig's,
this
and it
up.
was like
You
a
can try
big
if you
deal.
Yeah, I dropped it at Cousin Craig's and I was mad. That was the
I
big
don't do that at
sad.
Cousin Craig's either. We were just
Good
talking about
job,
bars
Frank.
that we don't do stand-up anymore. Cousin Craig's another place.
Yeah, I missed
Yeah.
that. R.I.P. Cousin Craig's.
Cousin Craig's we stopped though because Renee was just like, nah, fuck this place.
It was.
Yeah.
It must have been a far ride. And
It was
also,
far and it's also just kind of
It's just nostalgic.
Yeah, it was in
to
the
me.
middle of like no place.
I missed it. It was
It was
fun.
my first.
It was one of the more fun mics. But
Took my mic virginity. At
I like Cousin
Craig's.
Craig's mic. Yeah.
There's nothing better. Like as comics, can you guys just agree? Like that feeling after like the very first time you did good on stage. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
very first time you
chasing
really
that high is
killed,
like
yeah.
chasing the nicotine.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I've
Right?
never done
Except
that.
Like,
it doesn't
well
feel like
that's-
a burden.
I was like, I'm good at standing up for once. Let me do this again, and it's never been the same. But
I know what you mean.
You'll get it.
But
You will.
you're always chasing the. It's like you're chasing
yeah,
that.
but no,
Well, I
sometimes you
because
get it. Sometimes you have to
I don't remember the first time I did as well as much as I just remember the best set I ever had.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's always like,
I remember my
you
very
remember
first
your
show.
best show, and it's like, it's one I of course didn't record, which is nice. It's
Same.
always the same.
I
It's like,
didn't
yeah, you
record my
record it.
best set, and to this day I regret it. It's
Yeah,
like, it's one of those
everybody,
things you
and to
always-
that, ever since then, I record every set now, and it's none of the sets, even the good ones I've had have not been as good as that one, and it's like,
So-
God fucking damn it, why didn't I record?
So
I know.
I
and
ne-
you kick yourself off. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I never record because like I just never think to because I'm not like a serious comedian. I'm a pseudo comedian who doesn't do any actual work. I just talk about life. But I forgot what
Sounds most like most.
forgot.
people.
Yeah, it sounds like pretty
Saying
much everyone who
stoned
does
as
comedy
shit.
on Long Island. I don't think you're really that much different.
No,
from
but-
that.
So I work at a construction site, and you're gonna pay Billy John said to me.
So I was on Tinder the other day.
I'm just saying if I sat in my
All
chair and
these girls
pretended I
are
was a
sending
vet, I
pictures
would
of
get more if
pussy
I
on
didn't.
Tinder.
I wish I could join the army. That's
Of
a
what?
different. The difference between trans people and disabled people is that they can be in the army and I can't.
What army? What are you talking about?
The U.S. Army, they're allowed, aren't they?
Why'd you want to be in the
Military,
army?
because then I could be a vet and have like vet.
Yeah, we gotta deal with.
I would be able to get the
Yeah,
fucking
you gotta-
one bedroom
Yeah,
over
but the
across the
downside
hall.
is you have to be in the downside is you have to be in the army.
Yeah, you have to go
That
to
doesn't
war.
sound good
Fuck
at all.
that.
Do you know how lucky you guys are to have fucking legs? This kid comes home and brags to me about doing 26-mile bike rides, by the way, and I get like miserable.
23.6.
I don't know, man. Sitting down's pretty nice.
I love sitting down, but
Like
standing up
fucking-
must be fun too, right?
I mean, I'll be real. Like having legs is and sometimes you hit your knee.
Yeah,
Right
no,
now.
I know. I can understand. I can empathize.
You have to work.
But
Honestly,
fuck
Yeah.
like
it.
right now, Dana, like look at me. I feel fucking fine. Like I don't know what you're complaining about.
Yeah, I don't understand your struggle.
All right, you know what? On that note, I think we might have to.
Purpose.
I think we might have to call it. We're about,
But this was very fun.
Yeah,
Thank
we're
you
about
guys.
like an hour and a half in. Thank you guys.
Oh my god, yeah.
Thank you guys so much for
This
hanging
was
out.
so fun.
Is there anything you guys want to say before you go?
Thanks,
Anything you
Jamie,
wanna
for pulling
plug?
up articles. Frankie,
Yeah,
you
no,
want to
I just like to say I like the theme of there is truth to every joke, and you don't have to necessarily take this conversation as a representation of that idiom, but it is an idiom, and I just really like it.
You're an idiom.
And that's,
The R word you're trying to use?
Yeah.
and that's what
Oh.
we will pull from. That's a message we hope to take back from this podcast. Not
What?
what we said about retards. Or
Retards.
retards, or Canadians, or Canadians.
Look, when
But
I
that,
was like,
there is
just to
truth
be
every
very
joke.
clear, when I said the word retard, I was only referring to it in its
Not
literal
autistic.
definition of to be slowed down.
Yeah.
That's all.